Looking for the ultimate game day experience?
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. 10 months after buying the Lakers from the Buss family for $10 billion, Mark Walter has agreed to sell them to Thrive Capital founder Josh Kushner and former Disney CEO Bob Iger for $12.5 billion. Sale still needs approval from the NBA's Board of Governors. Russell Westbrook, the fourth overall pick in the 2008 NBA draft by the Seattle Sonics, announced his retirement after 18 NBA seasons. Westbrook, 9 All-NBA selections, a two-time NBA scoring champ, a 2017 League MVP, holds the NBA record for most career triple-doubles with 209. He is the most athletic point guard of all time, believes ESPN's Kendrick Perkins.
Athleticism, yes, as far as his explosiveness to the basket, the way that he's able to push the rock, but also anything else he was able to do, the block shots, like those type of things. And when you think about him averaging a triple-double in 4 seasons of his career, that has never been done.
Jets quarterback Quantez Stigger's doing well. A day after collapsing during a joint practice with Tampa Bay, he's entered concussion protocol after displaying symptoms yesterday.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ Chris Candy coming up Thursday. The Steelers know this is Aaron Rodgers' last ride, so what should fans expect from him? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
Hey, bud.
Paul O'Neill. Luke Foster.
I am your father.
Yeah, that's not your dad. I know your dad. That's not. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Ross Dellenger in 15 minutes. The Protect College Sports Act. Not dead yet, but feels like it's kind of dead. He'll give us the latest. Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill is going to be here in 30 minutes. I want to talk to Liz about two things. One, they have a new sports agent registry in the state. Number one, why that's relevant. Number two, remember the Jeff Landry, Wade Roos plan that they discussed at the governor's mansion with the top 40. Part of what they're waiting on is an opinion from the IRS and the Attorney General. So we're going to have the Attorney General here and ask her opinion on that. So that's coming up in just a little bit. Let's begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
All right, so the football Tigers were on the practice field Tuesday evening. We got our allotted 3 periods, each 5-6 minutes long. So 15, 18 minutes thereabouts. The one sort of change for us being out there was that we actually got to go watch the offensive line. So I've explained this before, but if you've ever been to the LSU football practice facility outdoors, there's 4 100-yard football fields. And they are basically stacked on top of each other. So you basically have 2 sets of parallel fields, so 200 yards, and they're parallel to each other. Well, where they allow us to stand typically is the west sideline and the north end zone. And the offensive line practices on the east field, more toward the south. So they're literally more than 100 yards away. And even if you try to position yourself between the fields, like there's a giant cooling tent and a tower where they put the video crews in your way. So you literally can't see the offensive line. Well, they let us walk between the fields now so we can go watch them. So that was helpful. I'll tell you, it was interesting because I missed a couple of practices while I was in the hospital recovering from surgery. And some of the reports were that we had seen William Satterwhite, the Tennessee transfer, taking some reps at right tackle. I did not see that on Tuesday. What I did see was an interesting way that they broke up the practice. And this really speaks to how Lane Kiffin is maximizing time on task. So we've talked about the receiver drills, for example, how at any given point you'll have all three quarterbacks throwing routes simultaneously. So there's just no wasted time. And what it basically allows is for every single player to get more reps in a practice than they normally would. I was actually talking to, there were 10 NFL teams represented at practice on Tuesday night, scouts from 10 NFL teams. And one of them said, I think it might have been a scout from the Texans, forgive me. It was one of the scouts who said, like, I've never seen a practice operate at this pace where all these guys are getting this many reps. So it's not just an opinion of like a novice like me going out and watching, like people who this is what they do are observing that as well, which I thought was interesting. So anyway, the way they broke up the offensive line was like Eric Wolford took the left side of the line and James Craig took the right side of the line. And so they're working on combo blocks, but instead of the other four guys standing around while one guy's working on a combo block, they're all going simultaneously with two different groups, with two different sets of coaches. So that was interesting. But what it suggested, I think, is maybe a little bit of a question at center, as far as the backup center. So Braylon Moore worked with Bo Bordelon and Jordan Seaton. That's your center, your left guard, left tackle. Undeniable, that's it. What was interesting is when the twos went, William Satterwhite was at center with Jaquan Sprinkle at left guard and Sean Tompkins at left tackle. But on the right side, where you had Aluba and Weston Davis, it was Ryan Moret, the freshman, who was working with the first teamers on the right side, which maybe I'm reading between the lines, but that would stand to suggest that Moret might have actually passed Satterwhite for the number 2 center spot. I don't know that that's solidified. I'm going to be interested to ask Lane Kiffin that the next availability we have, but we had Moret in studio during spring, and he was massively impressive. He's a kid from Miami, was committed to Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, and as soon as Kiffin took the LSU job, he flipped, immediately signed with LSU 3 days later, sight unseen, had never been here. He was in studio. Remember, he was a multi-time state champion wrestler in Florida at the highest classification. So that's a dude, I got the utmost respect for dudes that wrestle because it's hand placement, it's leverage, it's leg strength, it's power. I mean, you have an elite level dude who knows how to hand fight and control another man's body. I think you got a high ceiling guy there with Ryan Moret. Darren Stray was the second right guard and Devin Harper was the second right tackle. I thought that was interesting. Ed Ogeron was working with defensive tackles. When I saw him last week, he was working with the edge rusher, so he's moving around. Damian Shanklin continues to remain absent. No surprise. Hunt Palmer went and looked at the quarterbacks and receivers. He charted every one of Levitt's reps. Only one ball hit the ground. They did a goal line period, a goal to go, 10 yards and in. So period. Completed all his passes for touchdowns. Again, this is against air, so you should. But a good day, effective day for Levitt. Winnie Watkins was not there during the media period. I did talk to sources that told me he did participate in the team period. So when they kicked us out and they went team, scrimmage portions, all that stuff, that Watkins was out there in a gold no-contact jersey. I do not know what the injury or limitation might be, but Watkins was not there. When we were out there, I was told he did participate in the team portion. Let's see, what else? Trades Green continues to wear gold. I asked a source who told me point blank, we can't lose him. So Trades wore gold all throughout spring. He's wearing gold now. There's no obvious limitation because there is no limitation. It is just it's a giant, bright sign to say, don't hit 14. And I'm going to say it again. If you live in a state where you can bet college football props, into player props, go find a sports book that will take wagers on Trades Green and bet the over on every damn one of them because they are going to absolutely force feed him the football. I think he will lead the team in targets and catches and receiving yards and receiving touchdowns. He will lead the team in everything because they have never had a player like this, and they are going to force feed him the football. Jabari Mack, the freshman receiver, was also in gold. Gabe Relaford, Aiden Anding, they're done for the season. They were both riding the stationary bike in full pads, interestingly enough. Most likely just an opportunity to have them feel part of the team, to dress out, to be out there with the guys, but they were riding the stationary bike. Relaford with the ACL, Anding with the torn Achilles. So a couple of the observations. We don't get to see a ton by way of drills. It's all individual drills. So for us, it's, look, chart Sam Levitt's throws, maybe try to get a sense if they go into like a team period, like an 11-man drill, you could see sort of who's ones and twos, et cetera, how guys are running. But trying to give you any sense of who's emerging or anything like that, that's more so going to be things that we're told off the record or in press conferences with Lane Kiffin than what we actually see at practice. Because while Lane let us see a lot in the spring, 7-on-7, 11-on-11, team drill, scrimmages, all of it, we're shut out of all that right now in fall camp, which I understand. Some have asked, do you think you'll get more availability as fall goes along? No, it would actually go the opposite way. So, like, the closer you get to the opener, they're going to scale back availability. So once they break camp, about 2 weeks before the opener, that's when they start getting ready for Clemson. That's when I'm assuming they'll kick us out altogether. So we'll continue to go with every bit of availability that we have. We will absolutely have reports up at LouisianaSports.net. I drop a lot of Locked On LSU podcast episodes. If you want to subscribe on podcast or YouTube, I'd certainly appreciate that. But if you have questions or things you want us to keep an eye on, more than happy to do that. So, quick LSU football report. They have a walkthrough today, then they're back at practice, and then a scrimmage on Saturday in Tiger Stadium, which we do not have access to. It'll be a Saturday night scrimmage in Tiger Stadium. But Tuesday was the first day of full pads for Lane Kiffin's squad here in fall camp as they steamroll toward the openers. We're less than a month away from LSU and Clemson in Tiger Stadium. All right, our show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. They have the officially licensed cans, the cans and the aluminum bottles. You can find them out there. So if you're going to be maybe tailgating, hanging out by the pool, maybe watching some preseason football this weekend, make sure you got plenty of delicious ice-cold Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the LSU Tigers, and the official beer of your New Orleans Saints. Look for officially licensed cans and bottles at retailers near you. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. All right, it's after further review. Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill in about 18 minutes at the bottom of this hour. When we come back, we'll bring on Ross Dellenger, our buddy from Yahoo. Delly's been all over the Protect College Sports Act. Coincidentally, he just happens to live in Washington, D.C., which has made covering that very easy for him. But we'll talk to Delly about that after the Senate pushed a vote to September. So what does that mean? What can they actually fix? Any of that stuff. We'll get to it, Ross, when we come back. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
I love telling you about Duplessis Pools, but I have an even better reason now to tell you about Duplessis Pools. I've told you how if you go to duplessispools.com, you hit the Pick Your Pool tab on the homepage. Well, they've upgraded it. There's now a 3D modeling of the pool. So go to the Pick Your Pool tab at duplessispools.com, choose any of the designs. You're going to see a 3D model of the pool. And as you start to pick all of your features, your tile, coping, let's say you want a water wall, 4 foot, 8 foot, 12 foot, 20 foot, whatever. As you add more, you're going to start to see the price adjustment. So you can build your pool right there. And at duplessispools.com, if you get to checkout and you want to drop a deposit in there, they'll send you a contract to where, boom, you can already be in the queue. duplessispools.com. Look, you buy a car online, why not buy a pool online? duplessispools.com. Check them out online. Do it right now at duplessispools.com.
Every Raising Cane's chicken finger is marinated, battered by hand, and cooked to order to perfection. We don't have heat lamps, because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
ED low.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Glad to have you aboard with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. The Senate has pushed the College Sports Bill, Protect College Sports Act vote to September. Ross Dellenger from Yahoo has been all over this story. Good enough to jump board with us for a couple of minutes. Yo, dude, how are you?
Good, Matt. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Okay, is this thing dead?
It's more dead probably than last week. I think there was a big push to get this across the line before the Senate took a 5-week break. When you have a break like that, it gives a lot of people, a lot of special interest groups, a lot of critics in general time to pick apart the bill. And I think it's going to be more difficult probably to get it passed after the break. But you never know. I don't think it's completely dead. I think you'll see some modifications to the bill in an effort to try to get it passed in September.
Okay, what happened?
Well, surprisingly enough, the bill, which most people would say is, sort of like NCAA conference friendly and more influenced by Republicans, had a problem with Republicans. That's where the problem was. They didn't have enough Republicans on board to even get to the point where you're polling Democrats. It needed 60 votes to pass, and it may have had the 60, Matt, but it needed unanimous consent, and this gets real complicated, but it needed unanimous consent to waive certain time limitations to get the bill to the floor when they wanted to on Friday or Saturday this past weekend. And there were too many objections to that consent from Republicans. There were over 10 objections and amendments, mostly from Republicans. So a lot of folks thought the pushback would have been on the Democratic side, and there was pushback there, but the objections first came from the Republican side for a variety of reasons, one of which was the expansion proposal that's in the bill that makes it a little more difficult for, say, ACC programs to move to the SEC. It requires a probationary period of 5 years to operate as an independent if you're going to move within a power league. So that's one thing, folks want changed. Tommy Tuberville brought an amendment about transgender men participating in women's sports, right? That was sort of an issue raised. And there were a litany of other things from the Republican side.
As I understand, the transgender piece of that, the concern was that would have affected potentially Title IX. Is that right?
Yeah, there were some Title IX implications with that, and there were some Title IX implications in some other parts of the bill too, or questions. And there were a lot of facets of the bill that were sort of picked apart by Republicans, and this, for 5 weeks now, it gives everybody more time to do that.
Okay. Ross Dellenger is with us at Ross Dellenger, Yahoo Sports, Protect College Sports Act. It's put on hold, as Ross mentioned, until September, 5 weeks. So it felt like after the Big Ten and the SEC gave their approval, it was going to push it across the line for approval. So why didn't that have the effect many of us thought it would?
Yeah, that's right. I think when the Big Ten and SEC gave their support a week before that, so 2 Fridays ago, there was a thought that that would be enough. I thought that. I definitely thought that was going to be enough. And let me be clear. I think there was mainly a belief that they would have the 60 votes for passage, or around the 60 votes. The problem is, again, the waiving of the time constraints, the way the Senate calendar fell. Basically, Matt, when you want to vote on a bill, there are like 4 steps. And basically, it takes like 4 days for these steps to materialize unless you get unanimous consent to waive those time steps and just go immediately to a vote. Mm-hmm. And that's what they couldn't get. So that was an issue because there were so many objections and amendments. They couldn't get the time waived. But, another issue was Senate Majority Leader John Thune would prefer 70-plus votes for the bill. That way you send it to the House having passed by a significant margin, and that kind of brings some pressure on the House and the House of Representative leadership to take it seriously. And we know the House's leadership is from there in Louisiana, Mike Johnson and Steve Scalise, and they have problems with the bill. Steve Scalise has been public about that. So I think John Thune wanted a bigger vote margin than he was going to get last week, and that also sort of led to the collapse of the bill.
Okay, Ross, I'm going to ask you this is a very arbitrary question. So I'm not like holding your feet to the fire. I'm trying to, you've covered this closer than anybody. Give me a percentage chance. Like, what percentage chance, as of today, do you think this passes in September?
When the SEC and Big Ten gave their support, Matt, I thought that it had a 50-50 chance of passing Congress.
I thought you would have said higher than that.
No, I thought it was about a coin flip or so once they gave their support. I think it was 30-ish% before they gave their support. Okay. I think it's kind of back to 30%.
Okay.
I think it's kind of back. It's kind of dropped down to 30%.
Okay.
And a lot of that is because the House is pretty unpredictable, and House leadership has spoken publicly against the bill.
Okay, so I have 2 more questions then. Number 1 is, what needs to happen between now and September? Like, is there a specific piece of the bill that needs to change? Whatever. What needs to happen between now and September to pass the Senate?
I think modifications have to be made to several provisions, including the expansion provision of the bill,
which would allow
would allow
leagues to expand, right? Effectively.
Yeah. Right now, there's like an anti-expansion provision to the bill, and it's twofold. One, it caps Power Conference membership at 19 schools, which means the SEC could add 3 and the Big Ten could add 1.
Mm-hmm.
And number 2, the second concept is if a program that's in a power league wants to move to another power league, so a good example would be Clemson to the SEC, say.
Yeah. Clemson, Florida State, Miami. Yeah.
Yeah, they'd have to operate for 5 years as an independent. It's like a probationary period.
Yeah.
That was an issue. Obviously, that's an issue for the Clemsons and Miamis and Florida States of the world. And they put pressure on their lawmakers, especially the Florida senators, to stand against the bill.
Okay. Last thing. If it doesn't pass in September and the Protect College Sports Act dies, then what?
Well, I think the SEC is down the road on trying to create their sort of take the NCAA's rules that governs all of the NCAA and bring it down to just the conference level and enforce and create rules and enforce rules at just the conference level. And that's like a self-governance type of concept that in theory will evade more legal challenges and antitrust challenges. So the idea is the SEC's govern a smaller group of programs as opposed to the NCAA's 350, and that way the SEC can better and more easily create rules. So they could create their one-time transfer rule within the league. They could create 5-year eligibility within the league, ban pro players. They could create their own cap and restrictive cap on athletes in the league. So that's sort of the idea, and I think that's probably the way it will go.
Yeah. Then each league, in theory, has their own set of rules, which could differentiate from one league to the next.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And the big question is, if each of the leagues play by different rules and enforce their rules differently, do they all keep playing together competitively? And the SEC administrators, including several of the sitting presidents in the league, have spoke publicly that they think the SEC should not just break away from a perspective, but should also break away from a competitive perspective too and just play themselves.
Yep.
And so that's certainly an idea on the table.
And we'll have one league, just one really, really big league, which feels like an inevitability at this point. Okay, Ross Dellenger, we'll continue to follow. Make sure you follow Ross at Ross Dellenger, doing an awesome job with this. He's over at Yahoo, which you can always read for free. We appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Matt.
Okay. Yeah. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics. FMOLhealth.org/LSU. Told you plenty about the great NIL deals that Our Lady of the Lake has done with Lane Kiffin and Jordan Seaton and Sam Levitt and Whit Weeks and Trey'Dez Green. They have 23. I'm so fired up about this, by the way. They have 23 NIL athletes, and today we finalized the list in the interview schedule. We will have all 23 LSU football players that have NIL deals with Our Lady of the Lake on AFR starting the week before the Clemson game. So very excited about bringing you those conversations throughout this LSU football season. And, of course, I love telling you about my story with Our Lady of the Lake. Went in, was having stomach pain on Friday. Went to see my primary care physician at the Our Lady of the Lake Men's Health Clinic. Thanks to Dr. Tyler Boudreau. Got me over to the ER. Ended up having an appendectomy. Everyone was awesome. I trusted my emergency health care to the lake. Whatever you have going on, you can trust the lake as well. Heart, stroke, cancer, pediatrics, they have it all at Our Lady of the Lake. FMOLhealth.org/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together, we roar. I guess the conversation we're about to have is sort of a sister conversation to the one we just had. Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill is going to be with us. She has been involved in the Protect College Sports Act conversation. She also just recently, her office set forth a new NIL athlete agent registry. So we'll talk about that. And I do want her opinion on the governor and Dr. Wade Roos's plan that they set forth for the top 40 donors last week. We'll get to all that with Liz Murrill next on AFR.
AFR.
Rev Fiber, R-E-V, RevFiber.com, proud partner of LSU Athletics. Matter of fact, if you're watching any LSU press conference throughout the course of this season, take a look at the mic flag. That's the logo on the microphone. It's called a flag, the mic flag, and you'll see the Rev Fiber logo. So Lane Kiffin's press conference, you'll see it right there, Rev Fiber. They're a proud partner of LSU Athletics, but Rev Fiber has been a proud community partner for 90 years, 90 years serving South Louisiana. REVRevFiber.com. lightning fast internet speeds up to 5 gigs, great local customer service, internet, home automation, security, cable, phone for your home or your business. RevFiber.com, R-E-V, RevFiber.com is where you can go to learn more about their upfront pricing and how you can save money on your internet, cable, phone, automation, security, all of it. R-E-V, RevFiber.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product's always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at reliefwindows.com. By the way, we do shutters too.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FML Health, our Lay of the Lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 5-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
Community sailing is all about getting people in the New Orleans area out on boats, out on Lake Pontchartrain. Gulf Coast Bank helps us provide opportunity.
LAinsurance.net, better coverage for less money. That's what you get at Insurance Network of Louisiana, LAinsurance.net. Our friends over at Insurance Network of Louisiana, they're awesome, and they help you save money on your insurance every single month for your home or for your auto. LAinsurance.net, LAinsurance.net, and your business. Remember, if you're a business owner, like you have commercial auto insurance, maybe it's workers' comp. You have plenty of different work-related insurance policies. What if you could save money every single month on your insurance coverage? Let Insurance Network of Louisiana shop independently for free to see if they can find you better coverage for less money. 293-0450, 293-0450, 293-0450, or LAinsurance.net. It's Insurance Network of Louisiana, online at LAinsurance.net.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
All right, glad to have you rolling along with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. We always appreciate our friends over at Goodwood. You want to feel your best, they can help. Yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Check them out. Lowest prices, never any contracts. Yourgoodwood.com. All right, Attorney General Liz Murrill is going to join us here in just a quick second. The state of Louisiana and the AG's office has just opened up a new portal for NIL and athlete agents, for agents to go register. So I want to get AG Liz Murrill's opinion and thought behind that whole process, also the Protect College Sports Act, and certainly want to get her opinion as well on the presentation by the governor and Dr. Wade Roos on the future of the fund. Forgive me, I'm trying to wait for Attorney General Murrill to call. I'm trying to text her as well. The whole presentation there. because part of what Dr. Roos had said and the governor had said was they were waiting on an opinion from the IRS and from the AG's office. So I'll ask the Attorney General here in just a quick. All right. She said the line is busy. We may need to call her. So here, come take this number. Please hurry. Someone come take this. Here. Thank you. Okay. All right. Never mind. We just got her through. All right. It's after further review. My apologies for that. Just juggling some things there here off air. Thank you. We're good. Okay. We appreciate Attorney General Liz Murrill for joining us here on the show for a couple of minutes. Liz, thank you for the time. How are you?
Yep. You there, Matt?
Yep. Gotcha. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Look, juggling a few balls there to make that happen. Yeah. We appreciate you for taking the time. I know you're in Florida, so thanks for squeezing us in right now. Okay. Your office opened up a portal for athlete agents in the new NIL era. Let's walk through the thought process behind why this was necessary.
Yeah, so this year the legislature passed some new legislation that expands on, I think, something started last year that requires agents to register with my office if they are representing athletes in our state. And last year they started it. All the registration was on paper at that time. This year we have moved it all to a portal that is accessible through my website at www.aglizmurrill.com under the Public Protection tab. And that's where all the agent registrations are visible. So you can go there now and click on the tab and see all the agents who've registered so far when the law became effective on August 1st.
So it's interesting as you can actually look at this registry, Liz, and I can see agents that have registered. I don't mean to be disrespectful for this guy. That looks like a mugshot, to be honest with you. I mean, but so every agent puts their name, their photo, maybe who they're with. How many agents have registered so far?
So about 300 have registered so far. Some of those are still in the vetting process because you do have to undergo a background check. So there is there's a little bit of a delay, but I mean, right now the delay is less than a week.
Okay.
And so we move them pretty quickly once you give us all the information or the agent gives us all the information that we request. And so it doesn't take very long to go live. And we had over 200 before the law was actually effective on August 1st.
Interesting. It's like, as I look through this, I mean, like there's Drew Rosenhaus, who's a very notable and well-known sports agent who's on there. And then there's attorneys and not other folks who maybe people haven't heard of. Why did your office feel this was necessary?
I think the legislature felt it was necessary last year when they started this process, but exempted lawyers. And I saw no reason for a lawyer to be exempt. If a lawyer is representing someone as an athlete agent, then they should have to register too. So that was kind of a gigantic loophole that we needed to close. But I think it's important that the athletes themselves be able to look and get some basic information. These basic protections that are in place require some training on the law in Louisiana for these agents. So we want to make sure that they basically understand what is required of them as an agent in Louisiana. We've also created a mechanism for complaints to be filed with our office. So we're just trying to create a foundation of public protection for these athletes. And it's pretty minimal. There's no cap on their fees. That's something you and I have talked about might come into effect under federal law. But right now across the nation, some states have caps, some states don't. And it's really kind of the wild, wild west when it comes to athlete agency. And it's going to be especially problematic, I think, with high school students.
Okay, I'm glad you went there. That was literally going to be my next question, because certainly we think of it in context of these college athletes making big-time NIL and rev share contract deals. I would assume these are protections here for high school athletes as well. So how do the high school athletes factor into this whole conversation?
Well, for starters, if they're under the age of 18 or minors who really have no authority to contract at all, and so that would be some basic contracting and I think financial literacy that we would want them to understand. You can't go buy a car. If you're 17, your parents have to actually sign that contract, or somebody that's authorized to contract has to sign the contract. So There are a lot of things that we would have concerns about with regard to minors, even young adults. We want to make sure that they understand what it means to have someone represent you as your agent, and whether they can bind you to the terms of that contract. And so even a parent who's representing their child in an agency capacity as an agent, a legal agent of their child, that's different. If they're 18, then they're an agent. If they're 16, they're a parent.
Okay, interesting. So would a parent representing their child still have to go through this portal?
So maybe it depends.
Okay.
So I think that I think parents have rights as parents, right? And if I want to, I'm going to go look out for my child's best interest, and we have lots of parents who represent their children, kind of, I would say, more loosely in terms of their agents if they're actors. You have a lot of rights as a parent to protect the interests of your child, but once that child turns 18. They have the ability to contract on their own. And so at that point, if you represent your child as their agent, you have to register.
Okay. Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill is with us here. Are other states doing the same thing?
They are. Now, they aren't all doing exactly the same thing that we are doing, but there are a lot of states that are setting up registration requirements, and that will satisfy federal law under the current draft of the Protect College Sports Act. So, we're gonna see some matching up with state laws, I think, when we see the federal law go into effect, because it does recognize and approve of this agent registration, and it allows states to regulate that. And so it's building, I think, some matching up with the NCAA and with federal law, so that we can maximize what states are doing in protecting people in their states from what might not be very ethical or legal conduct of individuals. So you want to create a baseline in your state for what's legal conduct. A state gets to do that.
All right, so it's interesting to me that you just said when federal law goes into effect. We just spoke with Ross Dellenger. I'm not sure if you know Ross, but he works for Yahoo and does a fantastic job and has been all over the Protect College Sports Act. He was just on the show right before you were. He's very skeptical that the Protect College Sports Act gets passed in September. Are you, or are you more confident that federal legislation is going to get done?
Look, I mean, my opinion. His opinion is probably worth more than mine on this particular subject, but I tend to think, as a political matter, that something probably will get done. There has been a lot of disagreement about the language of that act, and up until fairly recently, LSU was opposed to it. I think most of the big SEC, the whole SEC conference was opposed to it, and then that changed. So now they aren't opposed to it, and I think the Big Ten also said they support it. The president supports it. He's pressing to get something on his desk quickly. I have some concerns about some ambiguity as it relates to women's sports, and I think they ought to fix that before they pass it, so that we're not stuck in litigation for another decade over what a woman is. But I think, all things considered, there's a lot of good things in the act. And so I think there's a lot of pressure to get it passed, because we do need some parity across the country, I think. There's a cap on agency fees in it right now in the draft, and probably a lot of agents who don't want to see that, but I think that that's something that a lot of people do want to see, because we don't want to see agents driving kids to Texas just because their agent fee is going to be higher in Texas or Oklahoma or somewhere else, or not capped at all in another state.
I'm glad you brought up agent fees, because that's one of the notes I'd written down. So, Liz, I know a lot of agents. Just doing my job, it's just you just get to know a lot of them over the years. And it was interesting to me that early in NIL, a lot of agents who have dealt with pro sports where they might be capped at 3% were doing more NIL deals, because some of them were charging up to 20%. Right. And so they'd rather do these deals where they could get 20% instead of their 3% in pro sports.
Now, look, think about lawyer fees. I mean, contingency fees for a lawyer that goes to trial are 40%. If you don't go to trial, it's 33%. That's standard across the plaintiff lawyer industry. Like, I think you will see higher fees as this continues. And if you look at, that's why we were worried about high school athletes. I mean, if you talk to Coach Curtis, he's going to show you some contracts where agents are trying to get student athletes in high school, some of them as young as sophomores or freshmen in high school, to sign contracts that attach someone to paying fees to this agent for the rest of their career. I mean, it's pretty egregious stuff, when, now that student is going to get more, that athlete is going to get smarter and better about their own contracting as time goes by, but they're being taken advantage of the younger they are, and where they're not yet sophisticated negotiators in this space.
I'm a little short on time. Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill is with us. Again, if you want to go see the NIL athlete registration page, the portal, maybe you're an agent or you're a parent who's inquiring, you want to learn more, it's aglizmurrill.com. aglizmurrill.com is where you can go to find out more about the NIL athlete agent registry portal. Before you go, one of the things that the governor and Dr. Roos talked about with their meeting with the boosters in the top 40, which I know you were at one of the meetings, was that they needed an opinion from the IRS and the AG's office. Okay, well, you're the AG, so I'm going to ask you, what's your opinion on the plan?
Yeah, look, I'll tell you for starters, there's no legal reason they need an opinion from me. I think they want one from me, but they don't have to get one from me. And I'm happy if they want me to look at the documents and kind of, give them some approval of them. I do think that's a good thing. So far, I haven't seen the details, and that matters, right? Whatever they put on paper is what's binding. So I want.
Do you think that would be different than what you saw in the meeting?
No, I don't. But all I saw was high level, and high level, I haven't seen anything that I don't think is legal. So, but I do, reserve judgment to see it written down.
Okay, but based on, so I don't want to assume, but so based on what you heard in the meeting last Monday at the governor's mansion, you think that the structure that Dr. Roos and the governor put forward is thumbs up A-okay?
Well, so far I do, and I don't right now. I would compare it to some of the kinds of structures they've already created at LSU and other universities to deal with sharing revenue streams related to intellectual property. So this is not new to the higher ed system and to LSU in particular to create an affiliated entity and then have it share rights or hold rights of the university and then to kind of share the revenue in a way that I don't think that anything I've seen is prohibited by the law. It's going to be more of a policy decision than it is going to be, I think, a legal prohibition.
Okay. Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill joining us here for a couple minutes on the show. We appreciate you making time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, great to be with you, Matt.
Thank you. It is After Further Review. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Relief Windows, proud partner of LSU Athletics. By the way, I just saw, as I was scrolling social media a little bit before we came on the air, if you go follow any of the Relief Windows social media pages, Brandon Holly shooting some new TV spots in Tiger Stadium. Of course, as a proud partner of LSU Athletics, you have access to all the different facilities and all the marks and everything like that. So if you're watching, there's Brandon in Tiger Stadium with the big video board lit up with the Relief Windows logo. Very cool. So go check it out. Any of the Relief Windows social media pages, go check out some of those photos. Relief Windows, ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. Relief Windows, ReliefWindows.com. All right, it's After Further Review. Thanks to Ross Dellenger. Thanks to Liz Murrill. Ross Jackson will be with us at the top of Hour 3 for a Saints camp report. We will let you hear from Kellen Moore in about 15 minutes from right now. Let me knock out a break, come back and wrap up Hour number 1 next.
After Further Review.
If you need to hire, you need Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com. glowresources.com. They are complete employer solutions over at Glow Resources. And when you go to the website, it's interesting because I say it all the time. They're based in Baton Rouge, but they help businesses all over the country, all over the world. And if you look at the careers page, I mean, they have all different types of jobs in all different types of places. They're looking for an HR generalist in Caruthersville, Missouri. They're looking for a controller in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, a laborer in Loxahatchee, Florida, a skilled laborer in Salt Lake City, Utah, a foreman in Port St. Lucie, Florida, a welding instructor in Ashland City, Tennessee. They're even looking for A COO that they're looking for in certain locations, a driver in Zachary. Point is, if you're a business owner, you need to hire, you need the right people to be the most efficient, you need Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
People think it's all about game day. Let's go! But the real work happens in the off season.
Spring practices, early lifts,
Extra reps. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FMOL Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
so we can do what we do best.
We trust the lake.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green?
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Wrapping up hour number one. We can file this under, oh, hell no! A high school student in Maumelle, Arkansas was at football practice. Practiced for nearly an hour when he started to notice something moving in his helmet. This is an honest to goodness true story. The AP has reported it. KATV has reported this happened. So the student takes off his helmet. There's a friggin' 2-foot snake in his helmet. How is this even possible? Now the kid escaped being bitten. There it is right there. He's sitting there at practice. He alerts a coach. They come over. They notice this friggin' 2-foot cottonmouth is in the pads of the helmet. Now, they tried to get the freaking snake to come out. He wouldn't. Dude was cozy, comfy in there. He's up in the pads. So they throw it in water, thinking it'll come out. Well, apparently cottonmouth is a water moccasin. I don't know this. I don't do snakes. To me, the best kind of snake is a dead snake. I see a snake, that snake dying. It's dead. I don't care if it's a little baby snake, a big old python. You're going to die if you're a snake. You come near me. But there it is. They're trying to submerge. They throw the helmet in the water, trying to get him. Like, there he is. They're catching him with the. Like, this is an honest to goodness true thing. Look at that son of a bugger. Freaking 2-foot snake in his helmet. Kid got a new helmet, continued practicing. And the freaking animal services people who came out released the freaking snake in the woods. Bro, I'm taking my helmet and I'm like bashing that son of a bugger right in the head. He ain't living another second to get out there and try to bite somebody. Freaking snake in a helmet. A couple years ago, we talked about a snake getting loose at the zoo. I was like, burn them all down. I'm at the zoo at the Blue Zoo at the mall. I'm like, burn them all down. Burn them all down. Burn it to the ground. Freaking snake in a helmet. Hour 2 next.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Rouse's. No snakes at Rouse's, thank God. What they do have is the Grill Up Game Day giveaway. Get this, y'all. 6 winners are going to receive a Monument Grill Mesa Series 5 burner gas grill with a side burner, a Johnsonville sausage prize pack with 6 packs of fresh sausage and brats, all courtesy of Rouse's and Johnsonville. Grill Up for game day. If you want to enter, go to rouses.com/grill giveaway, or just go to Rouse's, or just go to rouses.com or any of those social media. You'll see the link of how you can enter. Rouses.com if you want to enter to win right now in the Grill Up Game Day giveaway, courtesy of Rouse's. 72 locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach and points in between. Rouses.com. Official supermarket of the Saints, Rouse's.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online, or text or call for free, confidential help now.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. For the second time in less than a year, the Los Angeles Lakers are being sold to Josh Kushner, founder of Thrive Capital, and former Disney CEO Bob Iger for a record-breaking price of $12.5 billion from Mark Walter. The sale still needs approval by the NBA's Board of Governors. As the Browns' quarterback competition between Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders continues, first-year coach Todd Monken outlined his preseason plan for each. He said they'll see both of them. One starts this week, one next week. Each plays about a half. ESPN NFL analyst Louis Riddick.
Look, I think right now, with the new coaching staff, a new regime, they need to kind of just take this day by day and let the chips fall where they may. Let the players' play speak for itself. What I care about is production on the football field, and not looking forward to the 2027 draft and trying to put all your eggs in that basket and go, hey, look, we don't really need to really settle this situation out this year because we're going to address it next year. They've been trying to address it next year for years.
Falcons quarterback Tua Tagovailoa will start Friday's preseason opener. Still no decision from the team who will be the starter week 1. Michael Penix Jr. still not completely cleared from his ACL injury.
If you run a small business, you've got to try Gusto. Get unlimited payroll runs and get your payroll taxes filed automatically. Offer health insurance, 401k, and more. Get started for free at gusto.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
Hour 2. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt. Hey, bud. Paul O'Neill. Luke Foster.
I am your father.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Ross Jackson in 1 hour from right now. We'll get a Saints camp report. I do want to talk a little LSU in about 15 minutes. Something, honestly, I'd intended to do yesterday, but a lot popped up and we didn't get to it, was the comments Lane Kiffin made on the young defensive tackles. Deuce Gerald's, Lamar Brown, Richard Anderson, how they might rotate into this season. I got some thoughts on that. We'll get to it here in about a dozen minutes from right now. Kellen Moore met with reporters here on Wednesday after practice, and he did talk a lot about the joint workouts coming up with the Jags. I'll get to that in a second. First, though, Kellen Moore was asked about the Terrion Arnold visit. Now, if you're not familiar, Terrion Arnold was a star at Alabama, first-round pick of the Lions, 24th overall, played his full rookie season in 2024. Last year, played half the season, just 8 games. Had shoulder surgery, missed the second half of the season. Well, Arnold was released by Detroit, and it's amid a very serious legal investigation. He is facing 8 felony charges in Florida. Some really serious accusations, like kidnapping, armed robbery, and conspiracy. At its max, he could get a life sentence. And you could look at that and go, well, why the hell are you working this guy out? I get that. But he's also had workouts with the Seahawks, the Giants, the Saints, the Texans, Jets, Colts have also met with or inquired about Arnold since he cleared waivers in July. The point is, there's no shortage of interest in Terrion Arnold because you're talking about a first-round talent at a premium position who is on the open market. But what's the trade-off, right? So that's the tricky part. So this was the first on-the-record comment that Kellen Moore's made so far.
Collecting as much information as we can, having as many conversations with people who've spent a lot of time with him over the years. And so
Obviously, there's an outside of football part of this that has to be added to this, but I felt like we had a good visit with him, good experience. Obviously, we have some ties with Kool-Aid being here and their experience together, and so, we'll just see where it goes.
Okay. So it's what he mentioned there, it's worth noting. Kool-Aid and Terrion Arnold were the starting cornerbacks at Alabama 3 years ago, before they went into the NFL draft. So I have nothing to offer you on the legal side of this. Now, if he's convicted, that takes care of itself. If he's convicted, then there's no question here. We do live in a country where there is a presumption of innocence until guilt is proven. So I'm not going to convict Terrion Arnold here on the radio. I have no idea. I know nothing more than any of you know, and that's whatever we have read about what the charges are and the allegations. If he is charged and goes to court and there's a legal process, due process, all that stuff, I'm willing to let that play out because I would want the same for me or anybody else that I know or love to have their day in court, okay? I don't know, and that's regardless of whether Terrion Arnold picks the Saints or not, to that end. So let's just take that component, acknowledge it exists. That's a thing that has to be considered and dealt with, and put it on a shelf. And now let's just talk about the football part of this, okay? The football part of this would be kind of incredible if it worked out for the Saints to get Terrion Arnold. Now, you can be really, 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 really optimistic about Kool-Aid McKinstry and about Quincy Riley. I am not. If we jump in the Wayback Machine, crank that thing up to 88, and kick it back to the draft, and it's interesting because I had someone ask yesterday on the show text line, hey, if you can go back to the draft, would you rather Mansour Delane or Jordan Tyson? And my answer was, well, Delane wasn't available because the Chiefs took Delane before the Saints picked Tyson. But if he were, I would have preferred Delane. Now, I ain't no hypocrite because I was pumped that the Saints took Tyson. And I was good with the Saints taking any of the elite wide receivers 9th overall for the reasons I've said plenty here. I don't think Chris Olave is a true game-breaking number one, and I think they got one in Jordan Tyson. I think Olave is an awesome – in 4 years, he's had 3 1,000-yard seasons, okay? Chris Olave is an awesome NFL receiver. So don't twist my words about Olave. It's just simply teams don't structure their game plan to stop that guy. Teams may have to structure their game plan to stop Jordan Tyson, like they do Puka, JSN, Jamar, Jets, all them, right? That's what I think you might have gotten with Jordan Tyson. So I'm pumped about that. No misunderstanding. I also think it's possible that you could have gotten a super elite receiver early in round 2. You might have gotten one in round 6 in Barryon Brown. Could have. I watched the Saints for a decade and a half with Peyton and Breeze have a 7th-round tight end from Hofstra become the greatest receiver in the history of the organization. Lance Moore, a UDFA from Toledo, become a really productive receiver in New Orleans. My point is, right people, right system, right talent evaluation, you can find really productive pass catchers. It's really hard to find a true lockdown, elite, shut down one side of the field corner outside of round 1. Like, you're not going to find Derek Stingley lingering in round 3. That's just not a thing that happens. You want Stingley, you want Jalen Ramsey, you want that dude, like, you got to go get him early. And Terrion Arnold was a first-round pick, and he's one of those dudes. And so if you have the opportunity to get Terrion Arnold, who could very well be that true lockdown number 1 corner, I love that because it allows Kool-Aid to be the 2 and Quincy Riley to be your nickel, which I think they're better in those roles. Like, I do not think we have seen evidence of Kool-Aid McKinstry being a true lockdown number 1 cornerback in the NFL. Could he develop into that? Sure. And sweet Lord baby Jesus, I hope he does. Nothing would make me happier. But if we look back to a time for the Saints when, if you look at Marshawn Lattimore, that was one of those things where whenever no matter who you were playing, whoever their best guy was, 23 had him. That was it. 23, you got him. Never a question. Start there. Like, I don't believe that's Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid had a good year last year. His PFF grade was a 69.5. His coverage grade was a 71.4. That's pretty good. But when you go game by game, you see discrepancies, right? Whenever New Orleans in 2025 played Seattle, you went on the road, you played Seattle in week 3. Seattle's pretty good. They ended up winning the Super Bowl. They have Jackson Smith and Jigba. Kool-Aid's grade was a 27. His coverage grade was a 27.6. That's awful. You play the Giants, who stink, and Kool-Aid graded at an 82. And his coverage grade was an 84. That's good. And they didn't have Malik Neighbors. That's good. That's really good. We keep going. Played the Rams. Rams are pretty good. Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, good offense. Kool-Aid graded out at a 42 with a coverage grade of a 40. Played the Jets. They stink. Kool-Aid graded out at a 76.9 with a pass coverage grade of 84.6. You get my point? Against really bad teams, he was good. Against really good teams, he was not. So I think Kool-Aid is a really good number 2. But he's not the guy that you're going to say, go guard Puka, go guard JSN, go guard Chase, go guard Jefferson, and he's going to shut down a side of the field. Terrion Arnold could be that guy. And then if he is, that allows you to kick Kool-Aid back to be your number 2 and Quincy Riley to the slot as a nickel. And I think you're much better in that role. Like, I like Kool-Aid. I like him. He's a good player. He's just a much better number 2 than he's a number 1. I don't like him so much as that, even though he wears jersey number 1. Maybe they should put him in number 2. Aaron Brooks. Because I think he's a better number 2 than a number 1. Similar conversation to Olave. Olave's a good player. He's just not Jamar Chase. So I think some of that is knowing your role. So if the Saints, and the fact that the Saints didn't address corner until the 7th round of the draft, and they didn't address it all in free agency, is concerning to me. Because I don't think you're good enough at that position with what you have. At least not against the better teams in the league. So if you have the opportunity, if again, the part that we put in a box on the shelf earlier about Arnold with his legal situation, which exists, but we're having a football conversation right now. We put that part on the shelf. It exists, it's there, but we're having a separate conversation just about football. You have an opportunity to get Terrion Arnold for nothing? You don't have to give up an asset to get him? And he was a first-round pick at corner, and it's a place where you don't have good depth and you really don't have a really dominant number 1? I think that would be awesome. So let's hope it works out. Now, he'd have to pick you over all the other suitors that he has, including the defending champions in Seattle. But maybe, just maybe, this is one of those things where you may get a steal. See if they can pull it through. And we'll certainly talk about it as we move along. All right, we're brought to you by Arco Power Systems. ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com, arco.com. Industrial generator power. That's our friends over at Arco. That's what they do. They sell, service, install, and rent industrial generators for your business, your commercial, industrial facility, government, municipalities. Let's say you're having a big outdoor event, like a concert in a field, like a festival, and you need standby generator power to power your outdoor concert series, your big fundraiser in a field, a festival. Well, you want to roll in those standby generators? Boom. On the trailers, that's Arco. ARCCO. Arco.com, arco.com, arco.com. Everything's turnkey. Get a quote today. When the power goes out and you need your business to stay online, you need Arco Power Systems. ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com. All right, it's after further review. I'll ask Ross Jackson about Terrion Arnold when he's with us next hour. If you want to join us, you can email us, tweet us, or text us. in the 225. 396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways you can get involved in the show, so please feel free to do that. Let me knock out a break. When we come back, something I intended to get to a day ago, we just kind of ran out of time. Lane Kiffin on Monday, when he met with reporters, talked about the young group, really the quartet of young defensive linemen that may play an impactful role on this LSU team. I have some thoughts on that. We'll get to it next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorney. Speaking of those young defensive linemen, of course, you can see some of those as part of the G team. You can always go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, getgordon.com. You want to learn more about the G team. You want to learn more about the many different philanthropic endeavors that Gordon has all throughout our community and all throughout the state of Louisiana. You can always learn more there. GordonGives.com. That's the charitable arm of Gordon McKernan, injury attorney. You see about all the philanthropic work Gordon does. GordonGives.com, GordonGives.com. Before you know it, we'll be coming up on the bicycle giveaway around the holidays. Hard to believe, y'all, but we're halfway through August. I mean, we're steamrolling toward fall and ultimately the holidays. Love telling you about Gordon every single day. Really excited also about Court to Table, one of Gordon's entities. Court to Table will be hosting the Lane Kiffin Show on Thursdays this fall during football season. So many different ways that Gordon and his team are involved in our community. So go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
Ever wonder why cane sauce doesn't come in a pre-sealed packet? It's because it's made fresh inside every Raising Cane's every single day. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Huge shout out to all the customers, all the businesses that have trusted River Parish Contractors. I was chatting with my buddy Ronnie over at River Parish Contractors, who told me quarter one in 2026 was the biggest quarter one in the history of the company. Not to be outdone, Q2 was the biggest Q2 in the history of River Parish Contractors, and we are steamrolling towards setting records here in Q3 as well. It's River Parish Contractors right there in Reserve. That's where they have the Fab Shop, which, by the way, is open 24/7, 365. Anybody, customers, you want to go check on your job or any job, you want to pop in and take a look around, it's open to anyone. River Parish Contractors. rpcontractors.com, rpcontractors.com. If you need your industrial construction job done right, the first time and safely, you want the best. You want River Parish Contractors. rpcontractors.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
All right, Ross Jackson in 40 minutes from right now. One of the big storylines so far in fall camp for LSU is defensive line. Now, my opinion is the single biggest question on this team is defensive tackle. And look, there's a lot of questions, okay? Sam Levitt's health seems like that one's answered, but until we see it in the game and how he functions and all, that's part of it, of course. You have one returning receiver who had one catch, Phillip Wright. That's it. Everything else at receiver is new. Running back, Dylan Jones has very clearly is carrying the banner as RB1. Can he do it in the SEC? Remains to be seen. Lots of questions, right? You got 2 new edge rushers. Is PJ Woodland ready to be? Is DJ Pickett ready to be? CB1 taking over from Mansour Delane. There's lots of questions. A new place kicker replacing your program's all-time leading scorer in Damian Ramos. New punter in Grant Chadwick, who looks awesome. Will it carry over into games? Can it move from the proverbial range to the course sort of thing? There's questions all over. For me, the single biggest question is defensive tackle. Because you have no skins on the wall. You got a lot of talent, and you have some experience. You have no skins on the wall. For context, you went out and added Malik Blockton from Auburn. In 2 seasons at Auburn, he has combined 34 career tackles. 18 a season ago. 18 tackles. You added Stephylan Green from Clemson. 3 years at Clemson, combined 34 tackles. He had 18 a season ago. Don McKinley, going into his junior year, 3 years at LSU, has 19 tackles. 7 as a freshman, 12 last year. That's it. You got veteran dudes who are in their second, third year in college, but dudes that haven't done anything. Even a guy like McKinley, who was a 5-star, and you could be really excited about the growth potential, the physical ability, none of them have done anything. And that question is only magnified by the fact that 2 true freshmen have stepped right in and are stealing first-team reps from these veteran guys. What would make me feel way better is if knowing Gerald's, who is really advanced and explosive and very exciting, and Richard Anderson, who's 330 pounds and the number 1 defensive tackle in the country, if those dudes showed up on campus and the veterans were throwing them out of the boat. Because that would tell me your veterans, hot damn, they're ready. They're ready to roll. You got 5-star defensive linemen and they're struggling to break through. That means your veterans are ready. The fact that you got these 2 true freshmen, kicking in the door, tells me your veterans aren't holding them off. There's multiple ways you can look at that. And you can be really excited about the young guys, but there's a flip side to that coin, which is your veterans aren't dominating enough to justify stealing those first-team reps because you got the young guys doing it. Now, Lane Kiffin was asked on Monday when he met with reporters if he's ever had a group of young defensive linemen, and the way it was asked was the 3, because they threw Lamar Brown in there as well, who, this is a great comparison, right? Lamar Brown's 5-star number 1 player in the country. He's not taking first-team reps. Now, he wasn't here in the spring, but you've got Prince Will Uman-Mielen and Jordan Ross. Uman-Mielen is a senior who led Ole Miss in sacks and tackles for loss a year ago in the SEC. Jordan Ross is a former top 10 overall player in the country who has been a rotational guy at Tennessee and is now ready to be a starter. So as great as Lamar Brown, we all expect him to be, as highly rated of a prospect as he is, he ain't stealing first-team reps from those veterans. They're throwing him out the boat. So he's getting second-team reps. You're not seeing that at tackle. Anyway, Lane was asked, have you ever had a class like this with this many defensive linemen ready to make an immediate impact?
Yeah, I don't think we have. There's a 4th, 2 in there that's doing a really good job, Henderson. But, yeah, I don't. I talked to Ed about that. I was kind of thinking all the places over the years we've been, and even when we've been together or separate, and neither of us has had that. And really unique to have nowadays because now they're more spread out usually, where before you could take more numbers, and so maybe then you hit on some and got that. But it's really exciting. All of them have a chance to play. Those 3 specifically are playing a lot, and it's really exciting in an age that, a lot of people play older portal players. It's kind of been lost a little bit of significant freshmen playing because there's challenges with playing them too. They make more mistakes. So, and with the challenging schedule and the way that it's set up now and more competitive than ever, it's even harder to have some of those games early. So it's really an awesome situation to be in.
So I want to be very clear. I'm not afraid of asking a true freshman to make an impact. DJ Pickett made a big impact last year on LSU. Malachi Toney made a huge impact on Miami, who played for the national championship. So I'm not saying it's bad that you got a freshman making an impact. What I am saying is I'm a little skeptical about your depth at that position. Now, I'll give you a comparison. 2014 is always the year that I defer to in this, or default to. So 2014, LSU was in a situation where the year prior, some really talented guys left school early. Freak Johnson left after his third year on campus. Wish he had stayed for a fourth year. He didn't. He left. He left after his junior year, went undrafted, how all that went. And what that left you with was a really young defensive line group. And there was no portal at the time. So Christian Lockature, as a sophomore, became your most experienced defensive lineman. And Devon Gottschall, as a true freshman, coming off a torn ACL, by the way, ended up starting. Gottschall, as a true freshman, had 42 tackles. Lockature had 40. And you had Quentin Thomas, Macadius Bain, Greg Gilmore. You were just really young. Now, you finished that season 152nd in rushing defense. So it was top 50 in the country. But LSU's used to being top 10 in the country in rush defense in that era with Chavis and building great defensive linemen. And it showed against better veteran teams. When you played that in 2014, that really veteran Mississippi State team with Dak Prescott, they ran roughshod all over you. They ran right through your defense. When you went on the road to Auburn, that was the Brandon Harris game. They ran right through you. That was the problem that you had with that really young defense. So, and you got better for it, and you had young players on that defense like Kendall Beckwith and Duke Riley and Deion Jones, and later in their career, they were awesome players. Gottschall was an awesome player later in his career too. But that was a year where you had some growing pains. So I am I'm hopeful for the defensive line. I don't know if I'm optimistic for the tackles. But my real hope is that those guys become space eaters. Because the best spot on this defense, in my opinion, is linebacker. TJ Daugherty led the SEC in tackles a year ago. Whit Weeks was second in the SEC in tackles 2 years ago. Devon Keys was third in the SEC in tackles last year. Your first three are awesome. You talk about skins on the wall? They all got them. And you have great depth behind them. Tylen Singleton, Zach Weeks, Charles Ross, Keelan Moses. You got young dudes, hungry dudes behind them ready to roll. So I think linebacker is your best spot on defense. Most proven, best depth, all of it. Maybe what your tackles can do, even if they're not impact guys as far as making plays, maybe they can be space eaters, eat up blocks, and free up your awesome linebackers to go make plays. One guy who can certainly speak to that is LSU center Braylon Moore. He was asked when he met with reporters this week about those young defensive linemen.
Man, those guys are going to be crazy talented. Their future is so bright. I've played in the ACC, played against, good Clemson teams, played in the SEC. Those freshmen are developed more than some of the players I played in their fourth year. Deuce is extremely talented pass rusher. His bag is endless. And then when it comes to Rich, he is a powerful dude, can eat up double teams, could, just cause chaos in the backfield. And then Lamar's kind of a switch up. He's an edge rusher, but, he could also move into three-tech. He has that power. So, he could work finesse and he could just go right through you. So, that group is set for the next couple of years for sure.
I love to hear that from a veteran player. And to say that group is set for the next couple of years, I believe him. The question is that group set for this year? That's something we'll only see when they tee it up and kick it off. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, 924-2020. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. Hey, remember, it's eye care, eyewear, and eye surgery. It's back to school time. Parents, make sure you take your kiddos to the doctor to get their annual eye exam. The start of school is a great reminder to take them to go get that eye exam at any of the Williamson Eye Center locations. Call 924-2020, 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com to schedule. They got locations all over Greater Baton Rouge. Got a couple of them in Baton Rouge proper. They got Zachary, they got Denham, and they got Ascension, and they got Lutcher down at the river parishes. williamsoneye.com. Go schedule your eye appointment today at williamsoneye.com. 924-2020 or williamsoneye.com. All right, it's after further review. Glad y'all are rolling along with us. Halfway home here on a hump day edition of AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Former New Orleans Saint quarterback Derek Carr has a new job. We'll talk about that. Ross Jackson's here in 30 minutes from right now. We opened the show today talking about the with a little bit of a practice report from Tuesday evening's practice out at LSU. Today, Wednesday, LSU is a walkthrough, so no media availability. But after practice, I did have a few conversations with sources within the program, and I want to sort of empty my notebook, tell you a few things that I've heard. I'll get to that in about 45 minutes from right now. But in particular, two positions where some younger guys seem to be very clearly emerging. I think you're going to be really encouraged by that. We'll get to that coming up in hour 3 as well. Stay with us here. It's AFR.
AFR.
We are brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, 1hourbr.com for River City's 1 Hour Air. I love reading 5-star Google reviews for you because it's a great third-party validation that tells you how other people have had the same experience I have. Ronald DeLon left this one. Justin, the technician, was very thorough and professional, taking care of my AC unit inside and out. We can go on for days. Kelvin Tree said I had a great experience with Britton Holden from River City's 1 Hour Air. After a long, hot night in South Louisiana without AC, he arrived earlier than expected, brought a friendly, eager attitude. Britton assessed the issue, demonstrating impressive knowledge, explaining things clearly, also offered helpful maintenance tips for the future. Again, River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
My name is Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years. What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel that someone can pick up the phone and they can talk to someone or stop by the branch and get excellent customer service.
People ask why I chose to partner with Parrish. The answer is simple: trust. Whether you're choosing teammates, business partners, or the people working on your home or business, choose a company you know and trust. Visit parrishbuilt.com.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Rolling along here, Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Shout out to our friends at Goodwood. I talk all the time about peptide therapy. Highly recommend, if you want to learn more, go chat with Gabe over at Goodwood. Just have the conversation. I'll tell you one thing that I tell you all the time about is BPC 157. It's done wonders for me with my back pain. It's for muscle and tissue repair. And having just had an appendectomy, I can tell you since I've been home, I'm injecting my BPC near the site of my surgical scars because it's going to recruit healing agents to that area to help the scars heal faster. So it's worked immensely for me. I'm not telling you what to do. What I am just suggesting is gather information. At Goodwood, they have the lowest prices, never any contracts, and peptide therapy is available for all different types of possibilities. Cognitive function, help you sleep, maybe if you need to reduce anxiety, things like recovery. There's growth hormone peptides, which you're not injecting growth hormones into your body. You're injecting amino acids, strands of amino acids that stimulate your body's natural growth hormone production, which can help you burn fat, build muscle, sleep better at night, have better cognitive function. There's so many ways you can live a fuller, happier, healthier, more productive life. You just got to take that first step. Lowest prices, never any contracts, yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Derek Carr has a new job. Not sure if you saw this, but UCLA coach Bob Chesney has hired the former New Orleans Saints quarterback as a special advisor to the head coach. So Derek Carr spent 11 seasons in the NFL. He will assist Bob Chesney and the Bruins offensive staff with game planning and strategy while also working with UCLA's quarterbacks in a volunteer role. Well, that's interesting. Carr played at Fresno State. The connection here. So Carr, when he was at Fresno, overlapped with Derek Eray. I think I'm saying that right. It's Y-R-A-Y. Derek Eray, or maybe just Ray, who is now the UCLA general manager. So the two who played together at Fresno State, now they're reconnected, and Eray brought Derek Carr on his staff there to help Bob Chesney, who, remember, Chesney's in his first season at UCLA. He was the coach at James Madison, JMU. They went to the playoffs this past year. In 2 seasons at James Madison, Chesney was 21-6, of course, where he took over for Kurt Signetti, who left for Indiana. We know how that's gone. And won a Sun Belt title, played in the college football playoff last season. So Bob Chesney had a great 2-year run at James Madison. Walked into a good situation, continued to elevate JMU, and now has got his Power 4 job at UCLA in the Big Ten out in Westwood. As a matter of fact, we had a chance to talk to Bob Chesney, if you remember, at the Bear Bryant Awards in Houston when we did our show there in January. And he was awesome, man. He was personable, and we talked a lot about his past. Remember, he's the guy who was on, like, the cowboy reality show when he was in college. If you missed that conversation, go check it. You can find it on demand, our interview with Bob Chesney on YouTube or podcast. He was great. I really enjoyed talking to him. Wish him well at UCLA. It's a bit of an uphill climb there at UCLA just because of resources. I mean, UCLA is a public university in the University of California system, and it is a wealthy school. I mean, if you've never been to UCLA, like the university is directly across the street to the gates of Bel Air, like the French Prince of Bel Air, the Bel Air neighborhood. I mean, it is directly across the street from the campus at UCLA. And it is gorgeous, and it is in the heart of L.A., and it is wealthy and all that stuff. They just don't really care very much about being great at football, which they don't have to care about being great at football, so they haven't necessarily had that investment, and they have a major problem with playing up at the Rose Bowl, which we all think of as this historic stadium, which it is, but when you're playing in Pasadena, depending on traffic, I mean, you could be talking about an hour-and-a-half drive from the UCLA campus in Westwood to Pasadena. when LSU played there a few years ago, a lot of LSU fans who made that trip might remember UCLA wasn't even in school yet at the time, so the students weren't even back on campus. It was a really weird, wonky type thing. So they got a lot of issues at UCLA to get good at football. They've had moments in their history when they've been good. I mean, Troy Aikman was there. They were really good with Cade McNown back in the day, 98, I believe. Yeah, because it was that draft of 99 when it was Achilles Smith and Donovan McNabb and Cade McNown that were all in that draft class. But in any event, maybe Derek Carr will be the thing that maybe it'll be Derek Carr, the emperor of empty yards that elevates the UCLA Bruins. As a matter of fact, though, we did get a few of the questions from Derek Carr's interview process with Bob Chesney there at UCLA. Yep, please hit the theme music that I should have pulled up. Okay. So Derek Carr was asked from Bob Chesney about why he might be a good fit on staff.
Nothing's ever promised in this game. And y'all know me, man. I'm positive about everything.
How about that? Nothing surprises him.
I'm never surprised by anything. My brother always told me if they got rid of Peyton Manning, they can get rid of you.
And he's going to work for free. Yeah.
I wouldn't take a pay cut. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Especially with what I put on tape. There's some things that you put out there that you earn.
Strikes and gutters. All right, it's after further review. Good luck to Derek Carr there as the new special assistant to the head coach at UCLA. We're brought to you by Parrish Construction Roofing, parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing, parrishbuilt.com. Our buddy Derek Carr. Woo! Our partner, Drew Brees, notably better than Derek Carr, went into the Pro Football Hall of Fame this past weekend. Congrats on his enshrinement. And in the meantime, we get to announce on Friday when Terrio's here our winner of our Fortified Roof giveaway. So we'll announce the Baton Rouge winner on Friday, and then next week, I believe, we'll announce our New Orleans winner. Very excited about that. We love being able to do stuff. We've given away $50,000 in cash in our cash giveaways. Now we're giving away 2 roofs. We love blessing people in our communities. Of course, with Drew Brees, we're partnered with him and the Brees Dream Foundation as well. So we do so much more working with Drew's charity. Parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing, parrishbuilt.com. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for hanging out with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. It is after further review. We can wrap up the hour with Tigers and the pros coming up here in just a smidge. Ross Jackson is going to be with us in 18 minutes. We'll get a Saints camp report. If you ever want Ross's camp reports in written form, you can get them for free over at louisianasports.net. They are thorough, no paywall, all that sort of stuff. Ross tracks every rep of the team periods. It's awesome. I mean, if you're a junkie and a camp junkie, you're going to love Ross's reports. So go check them out for free over at louisianasports.net. Remember, you can always text the show in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. I got a text from Corey who said, Matt, ever since they started practicing in spring and now in fall camp, I feel like I've seen nothing but positive notes and videos of Philip Wright making plays at receiver. I know it's impossible to know who's going to be part of the rotation once we kick off against Clemson. Do you think Wright could be a dark horse that gets some playing time? I think the way you said it is correct, that he's a dark horse to get some playing time. But I think in all the conversations that I've had with people around the program, it is very clear who has emerged at the receiver positions. And it is Jace Brown, it is Jackson Harris, and it is Trey Wilson. And then, of course, Trey'Dez Green, who's listed as a tight end, but he ain't a tight end. They're not using him as a tight end. They're using him as a receiver, and they're moving him all over the formation. I've said, I think, you want one, I don't even know if this is a bold prediction. I think Trey'Dez will lead the team in targets, catches, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. I think he leads LSU and all that. But Jace Brown, Jackson Harris, Trey Wilson, I think those are the 3 to bank on as far as your receivers. Now, could Philip Wright factor in this year? Maybe. You could always have injuries. You never know. And then I don't want to be dismissive of Winnie Watkins, because I think Winnie Watkins is absolutely going to play a role in this team in large part because of his familiarity with this offense. There is just a seamlessness with him in the offense. I just think the other guys probably have different skill sets, especially as veteran players. All three of the guys I just mentioned are seniors. They all have just a different skill set and different experience levels. Watkins is in his second year in college football. So if you made me guess, I would think Philip Wright probably is in line to have a really big impact in 2027. More of a minimal impact, I would think, here in 2026. But the other thing to keep in mind is, like, all those guys I just mentioned, like, they could all come back in 2027 with the new 5-for-5 rule. All of your seniors could return for another year in 2027. So who knows what that's going to mean for the roster, as Lane Kiffin said earlier this week when he talked about it. We are going to talk about that a little bit as well, because Greg Sankey talked about the 5-for-5 rule and the guys coming, the class of 2022 coming back into college football this year and all that stuff. We'll get to that in about 45 minutes from right now. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. Come back, wrap up hour number 2 next.
AFR.
We're brought about Watermark and Renaissance. Watermark Baton Rouge, Renaissance Baton Rouge. The Watermark downtown on 3rd Street. Renaissance Southtown on Bluebonnet. Watermark is Baton Rouge's premier hotel property. Watermark Baton Rouge. Hey, look, this Saturday is the Capitol Gala's Best Dressed. One of my favorite nights in Baton Rouge annually. It's an awesome, awesome event, raising money for Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Institute. Everyone gets dolled up, dressed to the nines. There's great live music, great food, and cocktails, and energy and spirit. And it's just awesome, awesome night. And if you're going to spend part of your evening Saturday at the Capitol Gala Best Dressed, why not incorporate Watermark Baton Rouge? Get down there early, maybe have a cocktail at the bar at Watermark Baton Rouge, and you can walk to the River Center. It's walkable. Or maybe you don't want to drive. Great, don't. Like, stay at Watermark Baton Rouge that night. So after the Capitol Gala's Best Dressed, just go back to your hotel room. Have brunch at the Gregory. It's Watermark Baton Rouge.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Southern Classic Chicken, we take pride in serving the freshest, seasoned, and marinated hand-breaded fried chicken. Drive through today and pick up a family box or one of our classic combos and enjoy a true Southern Classic. Order online and download our loyalty app to start earning those crispy and juicy rewards. Loyalty matters.
I've been in banking for over 35 years. I usually start about 7:30 in the morning, and I usually leave somewhere around 5, or if customers need me to meet them at their house or their business places, I don't mind going after hours. I have done churches, subdivisions, retail centers, hospitals, and nursing homes. And that's why we chose to live in this community, because of the values First American Bank has, that I can serve my community and my customers.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy.
Proform Steel. Proformla.com. Proformla.com. You need a metal building. You want the best. You want Proform Steel. A lot of reasons to call Proform Steel. Maybe first and foremost, if you love America, every single material made in the USA. Every single material they use at Proform Steel, manufactured right here in the good old US of A. Proformla.com, proformla.com. Also, really the big thing is lead times. For commercial, they carry 10-week lead times when most are 16 to 20 weeks. And the reason they're a month shorter on lead times is because they do everything in-house. They produce everything in their facility. Purling, sheet metal, beam fab, everything in-house right there in Ascension Parish. Proformla.com, proformla.com. And buy a metal building from Proform Steel. They will deliver it for free, no exceptions. Proformla.com, proformla.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
I'm going to go quote tweet the college transfer portal account, and I hope you will all join me in chastising them, because apparently they stole a video from Trip Bueller. He's at Trip Bueller. Forgive me, I don't know that I know Trip. He is LSU Tigers SI and LSU Reveille, so I would assume he's an LSU student. But he took a video of Jaden Breaker out at practice, and the college transfer portal account, which has 25,000 followers on it, stole his video, posted it as clickbait, and Tripp went and quote tweeted him. So I'm going to go quote tweet the college transfer portal. I hate this because I'm going to end up giving them what they want, which is attention. But hopefully what it will actually do is give the credit where it belongs to Tripp, who took the video, put it on social media. I just hate thieves. If you use someone's content, at least do so with either permission or with attribution, and the college transfer portal account here did neither of those, and that's disgusting and it sucks. So hat tip to Trip Bueller, who's about to get a follow from me, and I'm going to see if I can meet him I've never met him, but I'm going to see if I can go meet him at practice when we're out there the next time, and tell him good job on getting the video, and awful job by the college transfer portal account, which this only has 25,000 followers on it, which I would assume is made to look like an ESPN college football account, but probably isn't. It's probably a bunch of dopes running this and just stealing other people's content. But an absolute atrocity that they stole this guy's video. So a pox on you, college football portal account. Do I follow them? I don't follow them, and I won't, but I am going to chastise them. So please go do the same there on Twitter. All right, it's after further review. Muso's out, so for the first time, Luke Foster, Tigers in the pros. Here we go.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Your mic's not on. There we go. And you need to keep the music bed going. All right, Luke, come on, babe. I mean, you tripped right out of the block. Right out of the starting block. Let's get up and let's keep going. Here we go.
All right, let's do it.
Hey, I hear you. That's a win. Here we go. You got it.
Alex Bregman and the Cubs faced off against Washington last night. Bregman went 2 for 4.
Okay.
3 runs scored, 2 hits, and 1 home run. Dylan Cruz.
Okay.
Faced off against Chicago last night. He went 1 for 4, 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 home run. And Paul Skeens faced off against Miami last night. A little concerning. He went 5 innings after 65 pitches. Had a little pain. They took him out.
Yanked him out of there after 65 pitches.
We got good news out of New York. Giants list Odell Beckham Jr. as third string wide receiver on depth chart. More good news out of Carolina.
How you feeling, man? How you think this is going?
This is how I've done it. Unless I've been doing it wrong since I started.
Just keep on rolling, bro. You're on it.
All right. That's it. Tigers in the pros.
I think you nailed it. I think you did a great job.
I appreciate it.
How you feel today?
Good. A little stressed.
No, it's sitting in here on this show, probably not an easy thing to do.
Well, this is my first time with you. I wish Musso got a little angry at me, but
what do you mean?
Because that way, I mean, like, really,
I'm not angry at you.
Not angry, but
not
like
angry at you.
Yeah.
Just there's urgency when you run a live board, brother. There ain't no. I mean, there's a live board. You know what I mean? Yeah. Got to go.
Gotta go.
Anyway, it's one of those things where what is it like? What is it like? Pressure makes a diamond. Is that the saying?
I believe so.
Pressure makes the diamond.
Pressure makes diamonds.
Pressure makes diamonds. That's it. That pressure. You got to put yourself through hard things to be better at it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we call the attorney general. Hey, bro, we better be on and popping. You know what I mean? Get their attorney general on the line. Let's go. It'll make you better. We've all been there. You're doing a great job. Proud of you. I'm serious. It's not an easy thing to do, to run a live show. You're doing a good job.
Appreciate it.
We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com. For Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, 9 locations. Love telling you about Lee Michaels. I love the Goldilocks analogy as well. The big box stores tend to be cookie cutter. The boutiques are, sometimes you don't have a great selection and you tend to overpay. Lee Michaels is perfect. 9 locations. So they have plenty of selection, and because they buy in bulk, they're going to give you a great price as well, but you still are small enough to give you personalized service. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, it's after further review. Y'all, glad you're hanging out with us here. Hour number 3 kicks off right after SportsCenter. Ross Jackson will be along. Get us caught up on national headlines. Talk about Saints camp at AFR.
AFR.
Hey, if you're thinking of buying a vehicle, make sure you put Volkswagen on your list. SouthPointVW.com is the website. I love telling you about South Point Volkswagen because my wife and I, Eric and I, have been customers at South Point quite literally for as long as we've been together. When we started dating, Erica drove, I will tell you, she drove one of those little, like, sporty Lexus sedans. And Lexus is a great vehicle, nothing against the Lexus. But she was overpaying for it, and we needed to get some stuff right financially. And so we got her into, at the time, a Passat. And since then, that started our family's sort of obsession with Volkswagens. And that's all we drive since we've been together. Now she drives a Volkswagen Atlas. I had an Atlas, but now I'm on my second Crossport. The Crossport is basically the Atlas. It just takes out the third row. Stylish, sporty, safe, affordable. Test drive a Volkswagen today. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, South Point Volkswagen.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product's always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at ReliefWindows.com. By the way, we do shutters too.
The Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office protects and serves over 132,000 residents across the parish.
Keeping our community safe is our mission, and Rev Fiber plays a critical role in how we respond. Whether it's training in our special divisions, forensics investigations, or fielding emergency calls in our operations center, Rev Business connects our teams in real time, which is why we partner with Rev Business.
Get 6 months free of Rev Business services. Call or click today.
People think it's all about game day. Let's go! But the real work happens in the off season.
Spring practices, early lifts,
Extra reps. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FMOL Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
So we can do what we do best. We trust the lake.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar.
Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. 18 years after he was picked 4th overall in the NBA draft by the Seattle Sonics, Russell Westbrook announced his retirement. He was a 2-time league scoring champ, 2017 NBA MVP, 9 seasons All-NBA, holds the record for most career triple-doubles with 209. Westbrook, the most athletic point guard of all time, believes ESPN's Kendrick Perkins.
Athleticism, yes, as far as his explosiveness to the basket, the way that he's able to push the rock, but also anything else he was able to do, the block shots, like those type of things. And when you think about him averaging a triple-double in 4 seasons of his career, that has never been done.
Falcons quarterback Tua Tagovailoa starts Friday's preseason opener against the Broncos. Coach Kevin Stefanski made it clear the team still hasn't decided on its Week 1 starter. Michael Penix Jr. still not completely cleared from his ACL injury. Denver QB Bo Nix, returning from 2 right ankle surgeries, won't play this week. Jets cornerback Quantez Steger's doing well. A day after collapsing during a joint practice with Tampa, he's entered concussion protocol after displaying symptoms yesterday.
If you run a small business, you've got to try Gusto. Get unlimited payroll runs and get your payroll taxes filed automatically. Offer health insurance, 401k, and more. Get started for free at gusto.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
Hour 3. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
Hey, Will. Hey, bud.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Luke Foster.
I am your father.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Lot to get to here in hour number 3. Jimmy will be here for Otterlocks, which are live right now at LouisianaSports.net if you want them. Greg Sankey today spoke about the judge's ruling that would allow the class of 22 an additional year. I've been asked about that a ton. Like, are there players that LSU could potentially be pursuing? Lane Kiffin was asked about it on Monday. Well, Greg Sankey talked about it today. So we're going to get to that here in a smidge as well. And as LSU has a walkthrough today and they continue through fall camp, now a week into fall camp, there's 2 young defenders that are seemingly, according to some conversations I've had with folks within the program, that are really starting to elevate, because that's always one of the questions in camp, right? Like, who's standing out? Who's elevating? Well, there's 2 names I'm going to give you. We're going to do that in about a dozen minutes from right now. But right now, we'll head down to New Orleans, chat with our buddy Ross Jackson, LouisianaSports.net, and Locked On Saints. Ross, how are you, dude?
Hey, man. Doing great. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here with you.
Our pleasure, as always. Okay, tomorrow the Saints start joint practices with Jacksonville. What do they do today?
Yeah, today was a little bit more of a lighter day of work. So they have done, I think, 5, maybe 6 practices straight in pads. This was their first day out of pads. A little bit of a shorter day, but focused a lot more on situational stuff, mostly in plus territory, so beyond the 50, with, of course, more red zone work. The Saints have been consistent about situational work here throughout training camp, so that continued to be their focus today.
Okay, standouts from today. Who made the list?
Yeah, I gotta shout out rookie wide receiver Bryce Lance. It's funny. watching the progression of training camp to where Barryon Brown was a star for a few days, and then Jordan Tyson was a star for a few days, and now Bryce Lance has really turned it on over the course of these last couple of days. Now, I will say Bryce has been somebody that has been consistently targeted in making catches all throughout training camp so far. However, it's these last couple of days where you're starting to see a little bit of the explosive nature that comes with a player that's 6'3" and can run with 4.36 speed. And you saw that today. He had 2 long targets down the left sideline. The first one he actually came down with, but good play by cornerback Isaac Yadam to rip the ball out at the last second as they were going to the ground. The very next possession, Spencer Rattler went right back to him, this time in double coverage in between a couple of safeties, and he was able to pull the ball in for a deep touchdown down that left sideline. So good examples of concentration, but also a really good example of kind of that short-term memory of, all right, I didn't come down with the first one, but I'm definitely coming down with the second one.
You noted in your camp notes, which you can go read over at LouisianaSports.net if you want to get them, that Bryce Lance shined, but so did the defense. So what stood out on the defensive side of the ball today?
Yeah, this has been consistent for the Saints defense. But, I mean, look, Tyler Shuck was held to 2 of 7 passing on the day. Spencer Rattler was held to 3 of 6 passing on the day. And, you know, Zach Wilson had a really nice day, probably his best day of camp from a completion percentage standpoint. But the first and second team defenses were, again, really, really strong up against the first and second team offenses. And I think a lot of this comes down to one of the things that I've spoken to a couple players about is how the Saints defense does a very good job of adjusting. And this has kind of always been one of the Brandon Staley stamps of what's exciting for what it is that he can do and how he elevates players by putting them in position to succeed. These guys will have 6 or 7 different checks that they'll make when they come out in a coverage to match what it is that they feel like is maybe the strength of the offense or where the offense might be going, all these other things. So they've just done a very good job of responding to the looks they're getting from the offense and making some plays out there. A couple of individual standout players today include Kool-Aid McKinstry, who had a couple of great pass breakups throughout the day, Jaden Price, who continues to shine and elevate all throughout. And then I would highlight Carl Granderson again, who has really surged over the course of these last couple of practices. He had an interception in yesterday's practice, dropping back into coverage. He's been taking snaps from the edge as well as moving on the interior and making plays as a pass rusher that way as well. So those guys all had strong days again today.
Ross Jackson's with us, LouisianaSports.net and Locked On Saints. I noticed in the report you highlighted some special teams notes today.
Yeah, one of the things that I thought was really interesting was no kicking today. You had a kicker competition, and they really upped the pressure of that kicking competition in yesterday's practice, having those guys alternate back and forth with all eyes on them. And then today, no kicking at all. So curious about that decision there, but that was something that they didn't worry about as they moved indoors. They did not go for any field goals all throughout the day. But we did get to see a little bit of kick return, guys that we expect, and it's reflected in the unofficial depth chart at the top of that kick return list. We're back there fielding kick returns, fielding punt returns. We saw that, of course, Barryon Brown is kind of the primary guy there. But a rotation of really talented returners back there in terms of Ty Chandler, Jaden Price, again, who is one of the best UFL returners in his one spring season with the team, as well as several others. So the Saints really funneling through a lot of different options there to figure out what their best combination is going to be from a kickoff standpoint.
I want to ask you about one more receiver because I feel like I'm guilty of this, as many people are, but it's like, all right, well, there's Olave and there's Jordan Tyson and now Barryon Vele, but Barryon Brown's emerged and there's Bryce Lance. We've talked about all of them. Bub Means was a draft pick a year ago.
Yeah.
And I don't talk about him at all. They tend to give the benefit of the doubt to guys they invested a draft pick in, but should we be talking more about Bub Means? Is he doing anything in this camp?
Yeah, he actually had a real good opportunity to get a little bit going his way today with a deep ball down the right sideline from Zach Wilson. Actually, those two have had a really strong connection, but he's had sort of these moments throughout camp, like today, to where a ball lands, is very well thrown into the end zone, but he's not able to corral it, comes down with a drop instead. And so I think if he can start to put together the more consistent pieces to that, things will be a little bit more, people will be a little bit more vocal about him. But I'm really curious to see him in the preseason in particular. He's a gamer big time. And I'm excited actually to watch one of the duos that I'm excited to watch during the preseason is going to be Zach Wilson and Bub Means. Those two seem to have found some type of really good connection together, and that's one that I think can really, really be showcased a bit more in the opportunities that will come through the preseason, which may be kind of outnumber the opportunities in training camp. And so he's been mostly a third-team guy so far, and that's not surprising with the amount of draft picks that have been invested since they drafted him. But a real opportunity here to continue to build some chemistry with a veteran quarterback that can get the ball where it needs to go. And Zach Wilson, another guy that I'll highlight from that same idea, Matt, is Kevin Austin Jr. Kevin Austin Jr. caught his first touchdown last year, was a guy that this team really relied on down the stretch with all the injuries at the position. And he's somebody that I'm really intrigued to see, because if there's any conversation around keeping a 6 wide receiver, the conversation is going to be between guys like Kevin Austin Jr., Bub Means, as well as Ronnie Bell, in my opinion. And so very excited to see those guys get some more opportunity and exposure during the preseason.
Ross Jackson, hey, before you go, joint practices, I'm always like, the thing I always hope for in joint practices is like, just don't get hurt and don't get in fights.
For real.
What do you want to see in the joint practices with Jacksonville starting tomorrow?
Yeah, don't get hurt, don't get into a fight. Those are really
there we go.
good
That's
ones.
good. That's good. Yep, there we go.
Those are really good ones. I think the biggest thing is just I want to see guys that have continued to stand out, or that have been standing out throughout camp, continue to stand out against unfamiliar opponents. I mean, look, a guy like Kool-Aid McKinstry, who's had a really strong camp, now gets to go up against Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter tomorrow. That's a good measure for him. A guy like Chase Young gets to go up against and Carl Granderson. Those guys get to go up against a new offensive line tomorrow. That's a good opportunity for them. Yeah, look, I've always been somebody I've kind of always been a little bit of a Scrooge about joint practices. They're not my favorite because I think that they're being used to replace preseason action when nothing replaces live football. And so I think teams are losing opportunities to get their players ready for the season by using joint practices instead of preseason games, where you can actually build off a game flow and all these other things. You're losing all that opportunity. But there's something valuable about guaranteeing red zone possessions, guaranteeing third down possessions, guaranteeing going in situations, backed up situations. All you can work the situations you specifically want to work. But I think the biggest thing for me is exactly as you said: don't get hurt, don't get into a fight, and then see these guys that have been standouts continue to stand out against unfamiliar faces.
Say, bro, Bub Means ain't making this team. Come on, and neither is Kevin Austin.
I look, if they were to keep a 6, he would be in the conversation, considering the amount of target volume. But I would certainly put guys like Kevin Austin Jr. and Ronnie Bell up there ahead. Maybe you're looking for practice squad spots in terms of these guys battling for right now. Yeah. But preseason would be an opportunity for him. If he's going to get it, it has to happen there.
They're going to keep a 6th receiver?
I don't think so anymore. Like, my general opinion is that only would have been a thing in terms of the investment that they made in Jalen Polk. Now, if the Saints are going to keep a 6 wide receiver, it's because a receiver convinces them to do so. I don't foresee anybody doing that. And so for me, it's about practice squad beyond those top 5 guys, the 3 draft picks, Chris Olave and Devon Baylor.
The only one that I remember, you tell me if one comes to mind, but Courtney Roby was a receiver, but he made the team as your special teams guy. He returned kicks, and he was your gunner. So he was a receiver, but he made the team because of special teams. Like, if Barryon Brown was only making the team as a return specialist, well, that could be a 6. But clear, he's making this as not just a returner. He's making this team because he's doing great.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people think, because Barryon Brown is making the roster because of his return ability, that leaves space for a 6 wide receiver. I think they've disproven that with the way that they've utilized Rashid Shaheed over the course of the previous years before they traded him away. They had no problem going in with a smaller wide receiver room, including him, even though he was a returner. So I don't think that that just because Barryon Brown, I'm with you. I don't think that just because Barryon Brown has return ability means that they're going to look to keep a 6 wide receiver. It would have to be somebody in addition convincing them to do so. And as of right now, I'm not foreseeing that. I think anything that you get from that value from these other guys is going to come from having them on the practice squad as well.
He's at Ross Jackson Nola. Y'all go give him a follow when the Saints are on the practice field. He joins us for a report. Of course, you can read his report at LouisianaSports.net, or you can listen or watch Locked On Saints. Go get subscribed. Thanks, dude.
Thank you, bud. You take care. Stay safe. Talk to you soon.
I mean, be well. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. Tell you every day, name brand tires, wholesale prices. That's what they do. They keep you coming back because they treat you like family. It's Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. Been around since 1968. I only point out the year just because when you think about it, they're 2 years shy of 60 years in business. I remember celebrating their 50th. Well, it's been 8 years now, but I pointed out just because if you've been around for that long, like you've been around for 60 years, you don't stick around that long unless you're doing something really well. And that's Shaw Bills. They treat you like family, and they sell you the best tires at the cheapest price. These aren't your discount tires. It's BF Goodrich and Bridgestone and Firestone and Toyo, and it's the best tires on the road. Michelin. And they're going to give them to you at the best price, but they're going to keep you coming back because they treat you like family. So you're going to get a lifetime value out of you being a customer because they're going to treat you great. I'm in that number, and you will be as well. When you go to Shaw Bills once, you'll get it. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. It's Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. All right, let me knock out a quick break. Thanks for hanging out with us here. By the way, hat tip, Hunt has this over at LouisianaSports.net. LSU baseball signee Luke Tucker is headed to JUCO. So not a big surprise. That's something we knew. He enrolled, completed summer school at LSU, but will spend a year at McLennan JUCO in Waco prior to a planned return to LSU. So this is a guy who looked very likely was not going to get on the field with the way that LSU recruited the infield and who they returned. So he's a big left-handed hitting third baseman. So have the opportunity to go play JUCO and then come back next year and have an opportunity maybe to go win a job. So Luke Tucker will not play at LSU this year for the baseball Tigers. He'll go to JUCO and then be back in a season. That's the plan anyway. But as they say, the best laid plans of mice and men, as you know the rest. All right, it's after further review. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Quick break. We'll come back. I want to tell you about two young LSU defenders that are seemingly rising up the depth chart. I'll empty my notebook for you next on AFR.
After further review.
All right, if you're a deer hunter, it's time. They got buck busters over at Clegg's Nursery. Get them by any of the 4 locations. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. They will have Mobucks and deer corn in soon, but Buckbusters is always the first to arrive, and they got it right now over at Clegg's Nursery. As a matter of fact, let me correct myself. Okay, 6 out. This is why I always tell you to go to their Facebook page. 6 hours ago, they just posted they got Mobucks now in as well. So they got Buckbusters and Mobucks at Clegg's, all 4 locations right now. You ready to go set those plots? Get ready to bag that trophy buck? Start at Clegg's Nursery. Get by any of the 4 locations. It's time, y'all. Hunting season's almost here. Get prepped up for it over at Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you. Clegg's Nursery.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Another roof gone too soon.
Looks like neglect. There's no doubt about it. This is a case of poor installation.
At Pelican Roofing, we don't guess. We investigate to find the real cause of your roof's problems. Call Pelican Roofing for your free roof investigation today.
Case closed.
Community sailing is all about getting people in the New Orleans area out on boats, out on Lake Pontchartrain. Gulf Coast Bank helps us provide opportunities to get folks out who might not otherwise have the financial means to come sailing. Auctions in August is an online fundraiser that helps nonprofits like us service the community. Bidding through Auctions in August is a lot of fun because there's so many different items. There's something for everyone, so you're sure to find something that relates directly to you that you'll enjoy bidding on, and you get to help out the community.
Raising Cane's Texas Toast is a thick slice of bread, garlic butter spread, grilled to golden perfection, and made to order just for you. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
My name's Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years. What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel that someone can pick up the phone and they can talk to someone or stop by the branch and get excellent customer service.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Man, I'm excited tonight, man. After the show, going to pop on over to Supper Club. Going to have dinner with Bryant and Doug Bocock, my buddies from Bocock Brothers Premium Cigars. I think maybe tomorrow, if not tomorrow, maybe Friday, I'm going to get to unveil their new LSU box. Y'all, all I'm going to say is, like, even if you don't smoke cigars, like, you're going to love this. I saw it today. They did an awesome job with the football box. They're awesome, by the way. They're LSU guys, LSU alums. The cigars are Honduran tobacco. And they have done an amazing job just hustling to go get collegiate licenses. And the first one they got was LSU. And after getting the LSU license, they've added, I don't know, 20, 30 more schools. So they have these officially licensed cigars for all these schools. Anyway, I'm really fired up. I saw the box today. They're going to give me one to be able to unwrap and unbox and unveil here on the show. I'm excited about it. But if you want to go like pre-order or get notified when they go live, you can go to their website. I think it's bocockbrothers.com. Spell it out. bocockbrothers.com. You can put your email address in there, and you'll be notified whenever the box goes live. Remember, you can use the code MATT15. That's my name, Matt15, 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 to get 15% off your order. I'm telling you, this is one of those things where even if you don't smoke cigars, you're going to want to keep the box like in your office, in your home as a display piece. And people come over that do hand them a cigar. Clients, customers, friends, whatever. Save it for a special occasion if you want to light a cigar on a special occasion, or if you're like me and you do like to smoke a cigar, you'll have. And this is, by the way, this is their new Maduro blend. I'm excited about it. So anyway, going to have dinner at Supper Club tonight, my buddies from Bocock Brothers. But we're going to unveil the new LSU box. Like, I'm just telling you, wait until you see it. You're going to be blown away. It's a next level kind of thing. It's awesome. Anyway. Tell you more when I can. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. So when we go out to LSU football practice, we get our customary, 15, 18 minutes. It's 3 periods, 5 to 6 minutes per period. So we're out there for 15 to 18 minutes, somewhere in there. And we don't get to see any team periods like we did in the spring. I'm not complaining. I'm very grateful for whatever access we get, because college coaches do not have to give any access to media. They don't. Like in the NFL, it's in the collective bargaining agreement that like coaches and players have to do interviews and there has to be media access and so on. It's not like that in college. They don't have to let you in at all. So I'm grateful for whatever we get, even the little bit that we get. So, but a lot of times what it forces us to do is have to rely on people who are there. And listen, when you look at an LSU football practice, there's like 200 people out there. When you include players and coaches and support staff members and trainers and sports information and NFL scouts and boosters and agents and like there's family members. I mean, there's 200 people out there, maybe more. And so it's not hard to find people who see more than we do. And sometimes they'll tell you what they saw, which is really helpful. And so then when you start to like call on all these people, then you can kind of piece together, okay, what 3, 4, 5 people are all saying the same thing independent of one another, and that's how you put the piece of the puzzle together. So, and I will tell you, there's a couple of guys on defense that very clearly are starting to elevate. And one of them, maybe this will surprise you, maybe it won't, but one of them is at linebacker, and it's Zach Weeks. I think linebacker, this is just my opinion, and you can disagree, it's totally fine if you do. I'm just telling you my opinion, is that linebacker is the deepest position on LSU's team this year. And I feel that way because you have the elite level front end guys. TJ Dottery led the SEC in tackles a year ago. Whit Weeks was a preseason All-American a year ago, was second in the SEC in tackles 2 years ago. Devon Keys was third in the SEC in tackles last year. So you got the skins on the wall. And then every one of your linebackers from last year returned. Everybody. The only exception is West Weeks, who graduated. So he's out of eligibility. But everyone who had eligibility, all of them returned. Charles Ross, Keelan Moses, Tylen Singleton, everybody. Jaden Breaker, who's now playing edge, but they all returned. So you have your elite level front end guys, you've got your experienced depth, and you got really talented young guys. I mean, I think that's your best position group, deepest position group on the team. And it's interesting because you look at those first three and then go, okay, well, like, who's next in that rotation? And the obvious answer would be like Tylen Singleton, who came in the same class as Devon Keys, and those two had kind of been paired and partnered. Now, Keys has certainly taken a big step up a year ago with Witt's injury, played a bunch, and had a really very productive season. But everything I've been told, y'all, is Zach Weeks is coming. And the most interesting thing about Zach Weeks, y'all, is, remember, he was a reclass. So Zach Weeks should right now only be entering his freshman season in college, but instead he's entering his second year with the Tigers. And he reclassed last year so that West, Witt, and Zach could all be on the team together for 1 year. Remember, in 2024, West could have returned but chose not to play a fifth game so that he could use his fifth year and take his red shirt, because he played as a true freshman at Virginia, then came to LSU. But he chose not to return from injury so he could redshirt, Zach reclass so they could all play together. And we got to see him do that in that game against Western Kentucky last year, which was really cool. But with Zach, what you hear talking to people in the program is that at the same point in their careers, Zach is the furthest along. Meaning, like, at this point at 18 or whatever, right? At this age, Zach is further along. So think of where Witt was going into his freshman season at LSU. And Witt was a productive player as a freshman when he got on the field in 23. But Zach right now, I mean, Zach Weeks is listed at, they got him at 6'3", 230 pounds. He's as a redshirt freshman, but he is bigger than Witt, and they think he is already more developed at this point, right, as a guy at 18 than Witt was at this point. And the ceiling is pretty obvious that it is super high with Zach. And I think sounds like he's the fourth linebacker right now, which is pretty exciting for the future. And then the other question is, like, who's the fourth corner? And that's a big question about depth, because remember, when Aiden Anding got hurt, they tried to go JUCO because there's no spring portal window. So they tried to go JUCO to find depth at corner, because you've got Pickett Woodland and then Jakeem Jackson, who's a former top 10 cornerback in the country when he signed with Florida, and Corey Raymond, and followed him here. So those three are set, but who's next? Like, that would have been Aiden Anding. Well, Anding's out for the year with the Achilles. So then it's like, well, is it Haven Finney, who's a reclass? Is it Michael Turner? Is it someone like Traylon James, who transferred in from Southern, who was a safety at Southern, but transferred in and played corner in the spring and now is back at safety? Like, who's the next guy? Is it Craig Walton, who's been in the program for 4 years? Well, what I understand is that Michael Turner is the one that's made that move. Now, Turner wears 21. When we saw him last Thursday, he was in a gold no-contact jersey. He is not. He's back in purple, so he's not in the gold no-contact jersey anymore. But Michael Turner is the one who seems to be elevating as that fourth corner. So God forbid, knock on for Micah, you don't want any injuries. But if anyone turns an ankle or whoever the next guy up, it seems like Turner is the guy that's kind of elevating right now. A couple of other players that I think are interesting and are having really good camps from what I understand, talking to folks within the program. One of them is Fahim Delane, who seems to have locked down the spot as the number 2 star behind Deshaun Spears. Now, we have seen Delane take first-team reps at safety ahead of TaMarcus Cooley. When they kicked us out yesterday and when they went to the team periods, what I was told is Cooley ran first-team safety. And I do believe that TaMarcus Cooley, with all his experience, 700 snaps a year ago, 40 years in college, like TaMarcus Cooley, going into his 4th year, TaMarcus Cooley is going to be the starting safety. I believe that's how it's going to work. But they've given Jace Thomas and Fahim Delane and Aiden Hall, they've given CJ Jim Coyley, they've given these guys reps. It sounds like Fahim Delane is next up at star after Deshaun Spears. And I think it's interesting because that is a real illustration of what Blake Baker wants at star. Remember, the first year Blake Baker was here, Major Burns played that role. And Major was more of a downhill player who could kind of help in the run defense and play in the box, but he couldn't turn and cover. And Harold Perkins last year was an athletic guy, but not great against the run and not great in coverage. He's more a guy that was athletic enough to go make plays in space. Deshaun Spears, I think, is what Blake Baker envisions for the star position. Like an athletic safety playing near the line. And that's what Deshaun Spears is, and that's what Fahim Delane is as well. So as you start to think of what that position looks like moving forward, it's probably more in the mold of Deshaun Spears. I think that's what Fahim Delane looks like. The one other guy I'll tell you to keep an eye on is Stacey Gage. And Gage, actually, of all the transfers, outside of Dylan Jones, who, by the way, Dylan Jones, I know we talked about him coming out of spring. It is just so obvious from like everyone I talked to that he is just very clearly the clear-cut number 1 running back. That he's the guy who, even without pads, was the clear-cut number 1 guy. And his strength is his size, his physicality, ability to break tackles and get yards after contact. Like, they're not even doing that yet until they put pads on. And he was already the clear-cut number 1. So I think he's your number 1, and Harlem Berry is right there as like 1A because Berry gives you the dimension none of the other guys do. Just the Harlem Berry is the home run hitter that we all know he is. So those two are going to be your top 2. And then Caden Durham is there, but it sounds like Stacey Gage is pushing Caden Durham to maybe be that number 3 running back. So as they sort of sort through that running back depth chart, now we've gone through this a bunch, and my contention is, the quarterback in the offense under Kiffin is almost always either first or second in rushing attempts, and Sam Levitt's going to be that. I think Dylan Jones will lead the team in rushing attempts, and Levitt will be 2. But I think Harlem Berry may be the guy that leads the team in yards per carry and be the explosive play guy with 100 carries on the season, even if Dylan Jones has 175. So I'm going to be interested to watch how all of that continue and how the running back and rushing rep distribution works itself out. But Stacey Gage is a name a little further down the list worth watching because he's the other of the transfers that seems to be maybe elevating himself a little bit here early in fall camp. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Evamore, EVAMOR, evamore.com, evamore.com. Stay hydrated, y'all. I mean, it is 93 degrees right now at 5:30 in the afternoon. Make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure you drink Evamore, natural artesian water, a healthier alternative, straight from the source because source matters. It's a natural artesian well on the North Shore Lake Pontchartrain. They built the bottling facility around the well. I mean, when you pull into the facility, you see it immediately there. When you pull through the gates, you'll see the well. They pipe the water out of the well right into the bottle. Never touches air until you uncap it and take that first delicious sip. It's Evamore, EVAMOR, evamore.com, evamore.com. Find Evamore at great local retailers or buy it online at evamore.com, EVAMOR, evamore.com. All right, it's After Further Review. Jimmy will be here for Otterlocks in about 15 minutes from right now. We'll find out what we're betting on tonight. Otter's picks are live right now over at LouisianaSports.net if you want them, so go get them right there. We'll knock out a quick break. When we come back, I want to update something that Lane Kiffin was asked about on Monday at his press conference and that Greg Sankey discussed today after the legal wrangling continues to go back and forth with that judge in Colorado who allowed for the class of 22 to have another year. Meanwhile, the NCAA is like, we ain't good with that. They're continuing to push back. So where do things stand? We'll update that next on AFR.
After further review.
Our Hump Day shows are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Men, want to remind you about hormone replacement therapy. We talk about it often, and I love that sort of the stigma around HRT has been lifted because this is something that, quite honestly, you or your friends or family members, like, you know someone on HRT. It's just a fact. I've told you I've taken hormone replacement therapy for years. And it started for me after we got back from the hospital. Lived in a hospital with my child for 9 months. Stress has a physical manifestation. It ages you. Well, all of us, there was no exception. Every one of us, as we age, our body produces less of the hormones that contribute to how we feel. And sometimes stress can be an accelerator. It was for me. I mean, I had the testosterone of a 70-year-old man when I was in my mid-30s. HRT has been awesome for me. It could be for you as well. A simple blood test lets you know if you're a candidate. So go to yourgoodwood.com, schedule that appointment. yourgoodwood.com.
People ask why I chose to partner with Parrish. The answer is simple: trust. Whether you're choosing teammates, business partners, or the people working on your home or business, choose a company you know and trust. Visit parrishbuilt.com.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season, and we need a healthcare team
that works as hard as we do.
At FML Health, our Lay of the Lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. No, the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
I'm Billy Schmidt, and I've been with First American Bank for 13 years. I have a passion of getting to know customers, getting to know their journeys, getting to know their stories, and being a small part of that, and just continuing that, and taking those relationships and expanding out into the community, just to make First American a household name. And people look at us and say, hey, what's special about you guys? You're part of a family.
Are you ready for an internet experience that actually keeps up with you? Then you're ready to step into a new kind of reliability with Rev Fiber. When your internet works, the possibilities open up, and suddenly everything feels more connected, just the way it should be. Seamless enough to keep up with every swipe and every click, anywhere you are. So leave the buffering behind. 100% fiber, 0% runaround, where support is still personal. Rev Fiber. Visit revfiber.com.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
So lawsuits regarding NCAA eligibility continue to be thrown back and forth. Well, Greg Sankey has reaffirmed that the SEC is keeping their rules in place. So remember, the Colorado judge, Charlotte Sweeney, ruled a couple of Fridays ago that members of the class of 2022 get another year of eligibility. The NCAA passed 5 for 5, but starting this coming year, This judge said, the seniors that just graduated, they get it too. Well, that has created this situation where recently graduated student athletes are trying to find their way back into college athletics, and some football players have already announced their intention to rejoin their teams. A day ago, there was a couple of Arizona football players, starters at Arizona. A couple of starters from Indiana have rejoined. Well, the NCAA has doubled down on their stance, saying they have no plans to allow those student athletes from the class of 2022 to be eligible this year. And so you have the NCAA and counter suing here while the injunction remains in place. So the Judge Sweeney, who ruled that, allowed the injunction. So while the lawsuits keep going back and forth, they're eligible. But if the NCAA ultimately wins, then those players are not eligible. So it's a little ambiguous right now. Lane Kiffin, can you play this one, Luke? Lane Kiffin on Monday was asked about that, those class of 2022 guys who are, if they're pursuing those guys potentially jumping back into college eligibility.
And really, what's crazy, you start thinking about these guys.
No. There was another one there. You got it? Yeah.
We look at everything, I think, and so we would be prepared for that. But I don't know what that would mean. You know, you always got to look at who they are and how do they learn your systems and all those things to come that late. I do think, since you asked, that those kids should be able to go anywhere. You know, they haven't been with programs for 7 months, and the programs that they were at, the coaches have changed at a number of them, and they didn't have a portal window. So I do think, her ruling seems like it's headed the right direction on that these kids should, if they get a fifth year, they should be able to go wherever they want, any conference, anywhere, because they didn't have a chance. So, and there's going to be places that don't want them back, because they're full or they don't need that position or there's new coaches there. So it'd be really a shame for anyone to limit these kids to where they could go back to, NCAA or conferences.
So Lane was a little coy there at the beginning where he said, we look at everything. That's all he said, was we look at everything. And then he went into his feeling, his strongly held feeling clearly that if these players do gain eligibility, they should be able to go anywhere. Because as it stands right now, those players, there's no portal window. So they could only go back to the school where they were. Lane's saying they should be able to go anywhere. A lot of you have asked me what's going on there. And about specific players. A lot of you asked about Bernard Gooden. We addressed that yesterday. He's not eligible to return. A lot of you have asked about Jack Pyburn. I have asked about Jack Pyburn. He signed a contract. I was told he had a 6-figure signing bonus with Tampa Bay. That would mean, according to the NCAA rule, he is ineligible to come back. I don't know that, and he is in camp with the Bucs right now. So I would say more likely are there players from other schools who might have the opportunity to return. That would be the bigger question. And I have asked everyone around LSU, and it is very quiet. Mum is the word around there. But the clearest answer I've been given so far is basically it's a 7 to 14 day window, week to 2 week window. Because the closer you get to the start of the season, the less likely it remains that you'd be able to add a player in this circumstance. But if a portal window opens for those class of 22 guys that have another year, I was told they're prepared. LSU is, and this probably isn't any great breaking news. It's Kiffin. He is hyper-focused on the margins, the minutia, the little incremental ways to make his program, his roster potentially better. It's like him talking about the day-night practice thing where he didn't want to give it away because it's a competitive advantage, but they do it and they think it helps them not only through camp or throughout the season. Okay, well, he's got his data and his metrics and things that would point to why that's an advantage. I look at this, and I have no doubt that they have their list. Now, I asked somebody over there, how do you even begin to put together a list? It's 136 Division I schools. How do you, comb through every freaking player who was a class of 22 guy who still has a year of eligibility, who hasn't signed a pro contract, who could come back, and then at whatever positions of need? What I will tell you is the two positions of need that are the most glaring and pretty obvious in this situation. I don't think this will surprise you, but it would be edge rusher and cornerback. Corner's obvious because they were looking for corner help in the JUCO ranks after Aiden Anding's injury, and then they're thin at edge rusher. I mean, you've got your first two guys, right? I mean, you've got Uman Mielen and Ross. But after that, it's Dylan Carpenter, who's a fourth-year player who's barely played, and a true freshman in Lamar Brown. You know, Damian Shanklin is not currently practicing with the team, as Kiffin said. And then you've got some veteran guys. You've got Kalaj Cobbins hanging around. You brought in Jalen Brown, who's a transfer from South Carolina, but you just don't have any real experience quality depth there. So if they had the opportunity to add a veteran player who'd played a lot of football at that edge spot, they would do that as well. So I don't know that makes you feel any better, but I was told, yes, they're ready. Like, they're prepared if the lawsuits get sorted out within the next week or two. It was like 7 to 14 days if this lawsuits thing gets worked out and a portal window opens. They're prepared. They have their list. They're ready to go. But it remains to be seen if that will happen. But Greg Sankey has said effectively the SEC is holding their rules in place right now as they wait and see what happens with these rulings. All right, it's After Further Review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by Hancock Whitney, official banking partner of the LSU Tigers and the official banking partner of the New Orleans Saints. HancockWhitney.com/Matt. They gave us our own custom URL. You want to learn more about the benefits of opening up a checking account or a savings account with Hancock Whitney, you can do it. And listen, I've banked with Hancock Whitney for literally as long as I've had a checking account. And I love the new, and they've updated the mobile app recently as well, but the mobile app is effectively your own financial center. It can break down your expenses. It can help you plan. It can help you budget. You can look at investments. It's pretty, and it's like, I'm kind of a simpleton. It's like big, like I need a book with pictures. It's like that big, easy to use, easy to understand. It's Hancock Whitney. HancockWhitney.com/Matt. My name, M-A-T-T. HancockWhitney.com/Matt to learn more. Hancock Whitney, proud banking partner of LSU Athletics and the New Orleans Saints. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review, final break of the show. We'll come back. Jimmy will be here for Otterlocks. We'll find out what we're betting on tonight. You can get Otterlocks always for free over at LouisianaSports.net, so get them there. Stick around. We'll wrap up next on AFR.
AFR.
Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty, agent225.com, agent225.com. If you need to sell your home, you need Darren James. Y'all, school's back in, and this is one of those important times in the calendar, the real estate market, where you see a little bit of a shift. When kids go back to school, you'll generally see a market shift. So right now, if you've been waiting, this is the time to call Darren James. Remember, working with Darren James obligates you to nothing, and Darren guarantees he'll sell your home. It's the guaranteed sales program, as he calls it. It's this easy. You'll sit down with Darren. You'll work together to decide on a price and a deadline. If Darren doesn't sell your home at that price by that deadline, he'll have your home bought with cash or he'll sell it for free. No questions asked. Go to agent225.com, agent225.com. If you need to sell your home, you need Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
People think it's all about game day.
Let's go!
But the real work happens in the off season.
Spring practices, early lifts,
Extra reps. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FMOL Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
So we can do what we do best. We trust the lake.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product's always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at reliefwindows.com. By the way, we do shutters too.
The Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office protects and serves over 132,000 residents across the parish.
Keeping our community safe is our mission, and Rev Fiber plays a critical.
I'm just about to get out of here, and I'm going to Supper Club tonight. Fired up for it. Can have dinner with my buddies over at Boatcock Brothers Premium Cigars. Tell you all the time, it doesn't matter for whatever reason. Maybe you're celebrating a birthday, an anniversary. Maybe it's you're planning your football Friday for the home football games or any football weekend. Make Supper Club part of your weekend. It'll be the most fantastic dining experience you'll ever have. For us, tonight, we're just going as friends, going to go enjoy some dinner tonight. Me and the Bocock brothers going to have a cocktail at the bar and then take our seat, have a dinner night, probably have a great steak. I don't know, maybe I'll go with the Chilean sea bass. You can never go wrong with anything on the menu over at Supper Club. You can book your reservation online at supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com, or maybe you just want to come hang out with us tonight. Come on, we'll be there. You can always walk in. Walk-ins are welcome with seating at the bar. supperclubbtr.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
All right, down the stretch, we come final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
You. Turn it down. You. Otter, not all the way. Not all the way. You. Otter, what up? I don't hear you.
You hear me?
Hey. What up, man?
Hey, let's get off the snot a little bit. Losing nights on Monday and Tuesdays. Let's get right to it tonight. We started off Cleveland. We're off to a good start. Plus 115 at Detroit. Favorable pitching matchup tonight. And the Guardians have won and still batting with a runner and score. 2 outs, 1-0. So the Guardians
2-0.
We haven't 2.
Should I look at? I didn't get it. Run line right now is minus $1.29. Should I jump on it?
Minus 1.5.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, we're in.
Yankees, have they started?
No.
All right, they're hot. Looking for a sweep tonight in Seattle. The bats are just beyond cold. I mean, they got swept at Tampa Bay, at home against Tampa Bay before they went to the Bronx. Now they lost the first 2. Now they do have a little bit of a favorable pitching matchup tonight, but we are just going to continue to fade those cold bats. And that's a modest line at minus 124. I think he's playing good ball right now. So
don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Yankees stink. What are you talking about?
Talking about cold bats. Boston, they have the hottest team in baseball last month and a half, and they have kind of been cold with the bats. We cashed a ticket last night with Toronto. We're taking Toronto at home to sweep the cold bats. Really good pitcher matchup. Suarez for the Bo Sox. Soriano was picked up from the Angels by Toronto. Toronto only 2.5 out of the wild card, making a little noise at home. We're going to take the Blue Jays, former American League pennant winning team from last year. So Toronto plus 14. And then over Kansas City, Los Angeles, you've kind of been showing a little extra interest with the Kansas City Royals since Bobby Witt Jr.'s come back. But also, since he's come back, Jack Caglianone hitting almost 400 the last 12, 13 games. He's gone yard a bunch of times. The Florida product is really getting into a groove right now. They scored 9 and 11 runs the last 2 games, and that would have put this one over with this total tonight. And this is a much weaker pitching matchup than the previous 2 nights with Lynch and Lauer going. So over 9 Kansas City and the Dodgers with the surging Bobby Witt Jr. and Jack Caglianone.
We're due. Let's get it tonight. A 4-pack. We're 4-pack. The Guardians in game if you want it. Get it on the run line, though, in game. Yankees Toronto and the Royals Dodgers over 9. That's your 4-pack from the Otter. Where are you tomorrow, Otter?
We are at the DraftKings Sportsbook at the brand new Bally's Casino downtown at the Atrium.
All right. Let's go get some winners tonight, man. I'm ready for it.
Yes, indeed. We got day baseball. We got the first round of the FedEx Cup on the PGA Tour. And so we'll have some day action, and Mike Delicano will be joining us on Thursdays now as well.
We'll look forward to it. Thank you, Otter.
All right, good luck.
All right, man. Same to you. It's after further review. Before we get out of here, I remind you about Parish Restoration. ParishRestoration.com. ParishRestoration.com. Tell you every day. Kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens. ParishRestoration.com. ParishRestoration.com. Jim Woodworth and the gang, they do awesome work. Awesome work, man. It's super easy. They'll come in, they'll spray their patented non-toxic dry fog. Dry fog your home in half a day. But also any type of business or commercial building, they do it all. It's Parish Restoration, ParishRestoration.com. ParishRestoration.com. All right, y'all, just about to get on down the road here. You miss anything? AFR on demand. All right, we're done. Hit it. You're late. Hit it.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, we remind you about First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Remember the word first. Tell you all the time, like Ben McDonald, first pick of the draft, when he bought his land, he used First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. Maybe you're a first-time land buyer. Go to FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. They have the ultimate recreational land buying guide right there on the homepage. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. So that's a great spot to do it. Now, maybe you already own land. Of course, you could take some equity in your current property, roll it into your new property. Maybe you're thinking of buying 50 acres to build your family's dream home. Was talking to a friend today, live in Santa Monica. They have a big piece of acreage where 5 family members all have homes on that land. If that's your dream, they can help make it a reality at First South Farm Credit.
I'm Billy Schmidt, and I've been with First American Bank for 13 years. I have a passion of getting to know customers, getting to know their journeys, getting to know their stories, and being a small part of that, and just continuing that, and taking those relationships and expanding out into the community, just to make First American a household name. And people look at us and say, hey, what's special about you guys? You're part of a family.
Every ounce of Raising Cane's lemonade has been hand-squeezed that day from fresh lemons before being served over our signature crushed ice. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season. And we need a healthcare team
that works as hard as we do.
At FML Health, our Lay of the Lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.